y'all. I tell you, these summertime days, they get me all messed up on the timing. The day is longer. You just do too much. So we are live tonight. We are ready to go finally. Wait a minute now. Spiritual strategies. Are you too caught up to be aware? It's live now. Let's go. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Hello, welcome to another edition of Art Imitates Life with me, Tanya Dixon. Greatest place to be tonight because we're going to have our news and our, who spiked the tea. Got some things in there that's really kind of interesting. And then also on the living room tonight, I want to know about you, what you think about spiritual strategy. Are you too caught up to be aware? And we're going to really break that down so that you can understand exactly where we're going. And I want you to feel free to hit us on the chat and come in and, talk and hobnob with us and everything. Let's try to work some things out. But again, y'all, I don't know what technically is going on with me tonight. I've been struggling up and down, so I think I got a solution for it. But before it starts cracking up on me, I better get to break and then get my folks in here so we can really get this thing rolling. All right, so we'll be right back after we check out our sponsors. Here we go. Art Imitates Life with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandiland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Hey, welcome back. Okay, and now my other phone is talking and doing its own thing. But it's about time for me to bring the folks in. Let's see who's here with us. So y'all unmute yourselves and I'll bring you on in. Hola. Hey. How you doing? How y'all doing? Tonight.
Bye.
It's been a bit of a long week. Really kind of a long week this week. But I want to find out how y'all's week was before I talk about mine. Oh, man. So, Rock, let me unmute Rock and bring her in too. How was your week?
It was fine up until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. But other than that, please pray for me and my family right now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
It's a hard problem. You just pray for it.
Okay.
Yes,
We'll do. Okay, Margo, how was your week? And I keep forgetting to ask about Mogi.
Oh, yeah, he is fine. My cat Mochi, yeah, he's fine.
Mochi, okay.
Just clawing at everybody, and that's the thing that sucks because we got to cut his claws down. But week has been good. It's been busy. I returned to work a little bit last week, but a full week this week. And so it's been a lot of training, a lot of uh, updates to certain things and systems and stuff that we use. Also, today was really good. It was a change because oftentimes we just do a whole bunch of training and then we return to our center. But our corporation decided to host a team building, teamwork, with the employees, and we did bowling, we did bingo, we did karaoke, we did
Oh,
cards,
cool.
dominoes, and they fed us and had snow cones and all kinds of stuff going on and prizes and
Right.
they each gave us our certificates of appreciation for how long we've been with the company. And mine actually had the right number of years. It had 16 years with the company. So
Good.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Y'all have fun.
Yeah.
Celebrate sales, all
You
that.
brought
So
it
dancing, all of that. Good music, all of that. So it was kind of
Good. You can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. I used to like when you go to work and then become play. Can't beat that at all. Having some type of fun thing at work, make it work. Makes
yeah,
it worth it. All the
yeah,
other crap that you have to go through sometimes.
yeah. Like just wait till when the children hit. When the kids hit, then it'd be different.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for being here, Miss Bridget. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank God I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you. How you doing? How was your week?
It's been busy. The past few weeks to couple of months have been busy. All summer really.
Right.
Between trying to stay out this Texas heat to trying to uh, take care of the kids and keep them sane and not killing each other. Once they stay in the house for so long or stay in the same area for so long, everything just becomes crazy. So
Right.
constantly having to keep them from ripping each other apart every day. I think that's the downside of being a stay-at-home mom. But outside of that,
Right.
just staying busy. Trying to find different routines that's gonna work for everybody.
Right.
Trying to reorganize the house constantly. Just trying to
Uh-huh.
find ways of keeping everybody occupied and progressively working together. So that's just been the strategy for the past few weeks, is just trying to get everybody to come together and work together as a team instead of tearing each other apart.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen you've been doing a lot of DIY type of
Yes,
projects and stuff.
Mhm.
yes, I love it. Like I do that all the time. Like I can, if someone gave me $1 million, I swear I could go in and organize an entire house, but I would go in and structure everything to where it would look like me. Like I would fix something or rig something up to just look like something that I would do it. So I
Right.
like store-bought stuff, but I would definitely make it my own. So
I know that's
that's just how I've always been. So I'm always DIYing something.
right. That's good. I wish I had that kind of talent. I do like art, but I can't. I'm not interested in maybe how I try to put it together like pieces of furniture. I think that's
I
where
love that.
I like that
yeah.
too. Yeah.
I love it. So
Gotta
I
change.
think
I
that
call y'all.
I think my family came from I think my ancestors were woodworkers, because my uncle, he has a whole wood shop like in his backyard, and
Oh,
he makes the most beautiful crafts, from benches to pictures, everything. And so I
Wow.
picked that up when I was younger, is just doing different things and working with wood. Now some of my kids, they do the same thing. They try to do different things working with wood. So it keeps me sane. Definitely, just working with different pieces of furniture and just making it my own,
hmm
bringing it back to life. So
I know that's right.
love it.
I wish I just still had that because I like seeing the finished product. So that's why I love looking at houses. I love looking at houses because I like to see how they brought everything together. I just know it's not my personal talent to bring it together. I just like to see the finished product. That's one of the most fun things for me, is seeing
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
But
I'd be like, let me shop for them. I'll shop. I'll go pick out stuff for you. I like that part.
Wow. Wow. Because that's the
Yeah.
part that, again, because I am going to be, I'm going to get a halls in a minute to handle my throat. But I know that what I have to do soon is when I go ahead and do the house that I really want, the struggle for me is to include the antique furniture. We got some antique furniture that my mom had that's like 60 some years old, and putting it in with my other swanky stuff that I want. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
I love antique furniture.
I do.
It's nothing like it.
I have to call people like y'all because that ain't my bag, you know. I would have to rely on y'all for something like that. So, you know, but well, thanks for being here, Bridget. It's so
Thanks.
okay. I saw her go to black. I said, did she fall off? Okay, well, my week, y'all. Okay, because you know we have a lot of technical stuff. I'm looking at my other screen over here right now and making sure it's ready for when my main screen starts to trip. I got my other one rocking and ready, you know. So y'all let me know when I start cutting out a lot and if I need to switch to my audio on the other one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's been a very trying week for me. I think, you know, was it last week was my first trips to the doctor. Remember, I just wanted my diagnosis and everything. And so we trial and error. We're on another set of a regimen this week, trial and error. And it's not working very well. So that to me has been a little depressing because it's just not working. But that just means it's the next, we got to try something else and see if it does work better. Because, like, for instance, this cough, no one can understand this long, harsh, lingering cough. So we're trying different things to get rid of it. But the good thing is my lungs are fine, you know. But they're just wondering if it accompanies the heart, you know, situation. So we got to work hard on that, and that's so far the struggle. But I think we'll get above it and all the other stuff that we're trying to bring in. So I guess, huh?
Did you say something to them about what I said? What me and Rosin said.
You know, I did not, because when I told the first girl on the first day, they were just saying they wanted, you know, remind me, I go back to the doctor Tuesday, and I'll ask him.
I'm gonna beat you.
I was just talking to them
put
on
her
the
back
phone.
scratcher on you
She pulled out the back
to
scratcher.
attack you with.
Hard headed. I'm hard headed.
No, because I can't tell some of the nurses that on the phone. I'd rather tell the doctor that when I'm there with them, you know. So I'll just do it Tuesday when I go in, and we'll see. We'll see what happens from there, you know. But I am just determined, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on that I can't really talk about, but it's some stuff that's really popping off, and I'm ready to see how it's all going to go down, you know, because it's a lot happening. Just ready to go.
I mean, I know you got stuff to talk about, but I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Do y'all think you know I'm talking about bringing Brittney home, right?
Yeah.
Do y'all think bring her home?
We're going to talk about that. That's one of our stories tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Feel like I just want to know.
Yeah, I mean that. I actually haven't spoken about it up until now, but I did pull the story, and I figured that, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and talk about it. You know, I was hoping that Michael would get back in here before we switched off to the tea, but looks like it's going to be time for us to go on to the tea, y'all. So give me a second here. Let's ride on down the street to Who Spiked the Tea. Here we go. A close ear out to when I start cutting out because I don't want to start reading the story and all of a sudden I'm cutting out and tick, 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 tick. So anything of that starts going on, let me know and I will gladly just kill my audio and work some things around with my second camera over here. This is some things that I just found over time as I was kind of just looking out there. We've talked about Todd and Julie Chrisley and their
Yeah.
whole thing that's been going on. And so I guess now all it's probably settling in to them that they are going to be facing some real jail time. This story here was on CNN.com and is saying that Todd and Julie Chrisley's marriage has been strengthened since they've been convicted of conspiracy to defraud the banks out of more than $30 million in loans. Now, they said that they that talked about their lives a lot since the convictions. So Julie Chrisley said that she started reading a book about comebacks and gleaned that it doesn't see life as it's never too late for God to restore your family, your health, and your mind. She says sometimes we need a shakedown so that we can rise up, and that the lesson for us has to be is never too. We're never too far gone. God is always good. He always remembers us. Um, I am on comment. Let me keep reading. Let me keep reading before I say anything else. And this her husband, was just Todd, said the whole situation has made him and his wife closer. He says, I feel that my marriage, for me personally, internally, is the strongest that it's ever been. He said, I feel like my marriage is feeding a part of me that I didn't even know was starving. I feel like I understand Julie from a different level that I have never seen before. Now, sorry, my whole page moved. Okay. Um, then they just went into the whole thing about, them and, all the stuff that they've been through with the whole conviction and all that. They said it's not on our time, they're saying this is on God's time and everything. But we want to hurry up because we're hurting so badly. And we just want to see an ounce of love from someone else because we feel like we're hemorrhaging. That's what they said. They feel like they're hemorrhaging right now. And their sentencing is not until October 6th. So how do you all feel about that? I can only imagine, let's just say, I can only imagine how it feels sitting around waiting to go to jail. But at the same time, there's repercussions to the decisions that we do make also. So what do you all think?
So do they already know like how much time they're supposed to serve? Like
I think that they can get, the last I heard it was up to 30 years, but I didn't know of the
but they
sentencing. That's right. This
it, okay, not just yet.
right,
I guess the amount of time, but
right.
yeah, it's definitely gotta suck. But I mean, if they're convicted because they were proven that they were guilty, that they did these things, then they can't do anything but take whatever's given to them. I mean, and, if they want to retry it later down the line, then I guess. But
Hmm.
if it's helping in some way and hurting in another, I mean, I don't really know much to say. But if it's helping to improve your marriage, then I'm like, hey, that's the
Right.
good. That's the only good
But
that they can
it's
see in the
crazy
midst
that
of all the crazy in the other stuff. So they got to look at something to try to stay positive, unless they,
yeah.
gonna be down in the
Right.
dumps dark place because they know what they did. That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money.
Ah,
So, I mean, hey.
and I'm like this when they were out. I mean, we got to think about it. They were flossing hard,
I thought he
you know,
gay.
on everything. Was that now?
I said I thought he was gay.
Right, you say something?
I think
Well, so did the guy that messed with him. Y'all didn't hear that, did you?
No, it cut
I
out,
said,
but
so
I
the guy
know.
that messed with him.
Yeah, the one that told was somebody that had an
Yeah.
affair with him, and so
Right.
I wonder what his wife is even
You weren't
thinking
there?
that news with that coming out like that. Like, I'm sure she know something about her husband being like that.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, you can't like not
And so
know.
probably behind the scenes. Mm-hmm.
So that's
I'm
definitely
just going to go out on a limb and say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that behind the scenes, she said a lot.
Oh,
And in front of the cams, they have to present a solid front. I would say that, you know. But I guess the whole thing is this for me. I guess all the same thing. Do y'all watch Basketball Wives?
happened in a little bit.
No.
Okay, there's a girl on there. Okay. Well, there's a girl on there this season who her name is British, and she just went off on Malaysia. I mean, just tore Malaysia a new one, and you're this and you're that, and you're phony, and you're this and that. And then turns around, she got a federal charge. She's going to jail for fraud. The feds came and got her.
Oh, wow.
And she got to do a bid. So the thing is this, how are you going to talk about Malaysia acting phony, but you've been phony out there frauding? And now you got to go to jail. And I watched the hypocritical.
I'll bite you in your ass.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Well, go around, come around. Don't judge people.
Right.
Right. Right. And then what I noticed is that the girls, they were supporting her so much. After, they sat here like talk that way to Malaysia, and they didn't jump in, but yet they supported her whole British. And I'm saying to myself, British is a fraud. British go to jail. That's what I was thinking. Just me. I was just thinking that, but that's how I feel about this whole thing with, Todd and his wife. Y'all, Julie, y'all start getting real hardcore on calling on God when everything gets really bad. And y'all real hardcore then. But I'm like, so what happened in the other time? What happened before this? Y'all were flossing hard. But I'm trying not to sound like I'm judging, but it's just a little weird for me. That's all I can say. It's just a little weird for me. Okay, but let's leave that story. Lucky, Veronica will go to, I'm trying to pull up the Brittney Griner story now, so we can kind of get into this one. I have just kind of sat back on the story for a while because I really wanted to see what was really happening. Okay, name of this particular article from the source. And NBA star Brittney Griner sentenced to 9 years for vape cartridge in Russia. Okay, so I'll give you a little information here. WNBA star Brittney Griner is being sentenced to 9 years in prison. Am I cutting out?
You did just real quick, though. It was real short.
Okay, because I could hear it go off for a second. But please stop me if it doesn't again. If it continues to do it, okay? Griner, age 31, pled guilty to drug charges and has been jailed in Russia since February At the authorities, their claim they found a vape cartridge with under a gram of cannabis oil in her luggage. The two-time Olympic gold medalist is at the center of a proposed prisoner swap that the White House is trying to negotiate that involves Russian arms dealer jailed in the U.S. The Kremlin has been blamed of using Griner as a political pawn. President Biden says that, I just read that word, but that Russia is wrongfully detaining Griner. In a statement out this morning, he says that he's calling on Russia to release her immediately so that she can be with her wife, loved ones, friends, and teammates. So that's kind of the whole back article. And I kind of wonder if it was going to come down to what it is right now. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So what is y'all's opinion before we talk anymore?
So you're saying they're trying to hurry up and get her back so she can spend time with her wife and stuff. And you said this is the one that plays basketball overseas.
Right. I felt like it was going to go into something political. That prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing just sounded that way to me from the beginning. That it was just a lot of attention given to it. I said this is going to have a different end game.
But for a vape with cannabis oil in it,
9 years. Wow.
and that's a lot. Like,
right.
I mean, I guess for them,
I feel like it had been something else to that, because 9 years, that's a little steep.
Right.
And I think, with over here in the U.S., that vape pen ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
In some states it's legal. In some states it ain't.
Mm-hmm. There's something else to this, and I'm waiting to get a little bit more information. And I said for them to want to do that swap, I feel like there's something else going on that we just missing that's not coming to the press. And
yeah.
And
I want to connect the dots, y'all. Give us the rest of the information so we could connect the dots. That's be like Pee Wee Herman.
Right.
Dots, la 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 la. Like, come on, y'all. We need a
right. Like, really need them.
Yeah, it is a very strange situation. How come they didn't just give a year of community service or something? Just a year of community
right.
service.
How long has she been locked up? How long has she really been locked up over there?
Right, because they want to do. Wasn't it February?
Oh, you said
was it February?
I think it's. Let me look here. Yeah, well, she was jailed in Russia in February. Yeah. That's what it seems like to me.
So 5 months.
Something going on.
Whatever they give her for that, they need to go and just make sure they take that off because she, like.
Yeah, she needs to bring. They need to bring her home, and if she's gonna do sentencing, let her do a sentencing in
the U.S. Yeah, like that's just crazy. You can't do nothing. But you go over there, go over there scared to pass gas. If they go, what they gonna give you for passing gas over here? Like you farted in a public place, 10 years. No, just like,
Margo.
Please don't do it, y'all. Don't put that in the. Don't let that be law.
Yeah, but I feel like there's definitely something. I've been waiting for that to pop up, something of that nature to pop up. And I said, there it is. There it is. That's the caveat. So we're going to see now how they are going to try to do this. And I don't get it yet, but we're just going to have to keep our eye on that particular story to see what happens. That's why I said I've been kind of peeking at this story, waiting for it to go to another level so I can see a little bit more about what they want, and it's starting to come into focus. It's some shade behind there, some shade, you know. Some people may not agree with me, but you got to understand when you're dealing with these countries that are battling right now, there's something else going on. All right, here is another story that was kind of odd to me. This is a story, InsideEdition.com. Family sues funeral home for $50 million, claiming that they realized mid-burial that the wrong body was in the casket. Yes. How sad it is. Guilty shameful. We never can get rid of that. That's what Kimmy Kim told WABC. Just as New Jersey family was lowering the casket, their loved one into the ground, brought back up, shocking members of the family who say the wrong body was in the casket, according to the lawsuit. Family members of 93-year-old Kyung Ja Kim, Kimmy Kim, Young Sung Kim, and Jungmi Kim Walder and Kimmy's husband, Tachil Kim, are suing Central Funeral of New Jersey and the Blackley Funeral Home and Cremation Services for $50 million. The lawsuit states that the defendants intentionally and negligently, you can't get the word, I can't get the word out, negligently inflicted severe emotional distress upon the Kim family. And the last member of her was very painful, disturbing, and harmful. This is what her daughter Kimmy Kim says. So I'm in that whole door. Just what in the world would you all feel if you looked around and you at the funeral and they you got another person there who ain't your auntie, your uncle, whoever, and then they get ready to lower them to the ground and all that? What would y'all do?
I'm like, didn't they have a small service and check, or
That's the part
was it like a 2
I
day,
don't get.
day lapse in between? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, because usually you'll have the funeral earlier, and
Oh,
then like you do the the
here's a
procession.
part of it.
Okay, because
Yeah, let me read this part. Let's see if we can figure it out.
get
On
you
the morning of November 13th, however, upon viewing the body in the casket, Kimmy Kim allegedly told the funeral director that the body in the casket did not appear to be her mother, according to the lawsuit. So she said the employee implied that Kimmy did not appreciate a different appearance after death. And the lawsuit says that Kimmy then rationalized that the altered appearance uh, was attributable to the embalming process and the application of heavy mortuary makeup, fake hair, and some type of fillers such as Botox. So I guess they tried to tell her that all the services that provided, that's what made her look different, that it's the same, it's your mama, but we did a bunch of stuff to her and y'all just don't.
I'm just trying to, because it's different for African American families. Like, our bodies, because of our skin complexion and melanin and stuff like that, like we can go a little bit longer with being in at the funeral home. That's why sometimes services are like a week to 2 weeks out, just depending upon, you know. And for other folks with lighter skin tones, it's got to be the funeral and everything has to be quicker. But on that, it does change some for us, but not as much as others. So I can see them trying to pass saying this is your mom because this process does this, and everything kind of changes with the embalming fluid, makeup, all that kind of stuff, and then they've been refrigerated for however many days. You know, skin tone, color, and all that stuff will change, and they will look different. They're not going to look the same as when they had actual life in them. So you have to kind of expect some of that. But how I'm like mid lowering it to the ground, then you told them to pick it back up and be like, no, that ain't her. I mean, did she have an identifying birthmark for y'all to really figure that out? Or, I mean, that's just really messed up.
It's weird to me. Yeah, that's really weird to me.
For a funeral home to do that and to not have proper identification or a way of tracking bodies because they're supposed to.
Right.
And for them to later be like, that's not my mom. So, but that is really messed up because that's a hard thing to even, grasp mentally if you're grieving. So to be in the process of grieving and then be like, why are we crying over this lady? This ain't mama. Like, like
right.
This. And who do they have at their funeral?
I know.
Who's at that funeral? Like, they find out, then they got two different separate lawsuits from two different families. And, there'd be there's a really big hot mess. Because there's two whole families that be like, we ain't got our mama, and who, and we ain't got ours either. Like, who these ladies? Why they switched them up? So
right. That's just so shabby.
Yeah.
On the funeral home, that's just so daggone shabby that they did, and they just need to own up.
And that was somebody that just was trying to back out on some of the work, or just tired or too stressed because they had too many bodies come through there, and just it's like it's too much. So I don't know. That's somebody, really big. Somebody's getting fired, or somebody's, somebody's seriously getting in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, on that one, like funeral homes that I know rare occasional. Yeah, you had to stop. But like rare occasions, I know some crazy stuff happens, but that's
any insurance and money involved anywhere?
You said there's money involved in what? Yeah, that lawsuit, that one family, they finna sue them for probably 50 million. That's quite big though. I don't even know how they come up with that number. I was thinking like 2 million, 1 or 2 million, but they talking about 50 million. I'm like, maybe they trying to give each family member $1 million. That's probably why they said 50. It might be 50 that was there that day. Like you scarred us you for life with this one. So
I do with $50 million.
You do a lot.
Tanya,
I tell you.
Well, what kind of?
Yeah, I'm switching out audios.
I said, you want what kind of house?
Okay, talk to me again.
She said, what kind of house? You said you wanted?
Did I say I wanted?
Yeah, if I had $50 million, going off of what they were talking,
Going to get my estate.
What would you do with yours?
Go get my estate.
Margo, want to come out of Texas, so you want to stay there?
I might be all over with that.
Right.
In all 50 states.
I ain't gonna let no grass grow over my feet.
Whenever
be moving.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I switched audios over here.
Okay, maybe
because how's it sound?
Sound a little better.
It's all right.
Okay, good. Because I got tired of that other one playing with me. It was having just a little bit too much fun with me.
Did we lose Bridget?
Yeah.
I was wondering too. I was like, wait a minute.
We lost Bridget a little while ago, and we lost Michael. He's having technical issues.
He's bad right now.
Yeah, but with I said, remember I said the 3-woman trio?
Yeah. All the time.
Right. It's a little hard on me tonight, but I'm hanging in here.
Yeah. Just let us
well,
know.
We just
let us
want
know.
to cut it short. That's all. We're not gonna stay here as long as we've been staying. We just need
yeah,
to.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Veronica, can you move on this particular over here? I'm going to need you to move closer to your mic when you talk because it's different sounding over here.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can definitely hear you, but I like your other shot better. But you can just move in when you just talk.
What about now?
Yeah, you're fine, but sometimes just move in closer to the mic when you get ready to say something. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but we will do that. Okay, I got another story.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, Monica Lewinsky. Okay,
Ooh, ain't heard her in a minute.
I know.
Right.
To Monica, girl, where you been hiding?
I know, right? And
She
this article
might
is
need
on,
to stay here.
right? Well, when I tell you about the story, you're gonna say she does. This other article is from eonline.com. Monica Lewinsky asked Beyonce to remove her name from partition lyrics. Okay.
Cool.
After Beyonce nixed the word from her latest album over ableist concerns, the 49-year-old suggested that the singer go back a step further and remove her name from the hit Partition. While we're at it, hashtag Partition, she tweeted on August 1st, calling out the 2013 song from the Beyonce album, which the singer recalled that a man, Monica Lewinsky'd all on my gown. The racy lyrics in the reference to the high-profile affair between President Bill Clinton and the 21-year-old Lewinsky, which led to the president's infamous denial and impeachment in 1998. This isn't the first time Lewinsky, who has had rap song muse written in her Twitter bio, has addressed the unwelcome name drop. In an essay that she wrote on Vanity Fair in 2014, she actually thanked Beyonce for including her in the song, but offered one correction. She says, Miley Cyrus references me in her twerking stage act. Eminem raps about me, and Beyonce's latest song hit gives me a shout out. Thanks, Beyonce. If we're verbing, I think you meant Bill Clinton on my gown, not Monica Lewinsky. So, girl,
Girl,
go
let that
sit
go.
Yeah, she should have
down.
stayed
I was like,
inside.
let that go. You everybody else's song, and then you want to come back and say, take my name. You did what you did. Did you not do it? Like,
Right. She just
you
now
gotta,
she want to be.
yeah, you
Well,
gotta walk with it.
right. You know what it is too. Sometimes they get a inkling that they can get some more stretching that 5 minutes a little bit more,
Yeah.
and that's what I see
I say,
is trying to find a way to stretch that 5 minutes.
just be glad they didn't call you what you are in words on them song. They put little messages, innuendos, but they didn't call you exactly what you were at that moment. Just be in their song because they could have.
Yeah,
But they was being nice, I guess.
I just think she is being a little too much.
Yeah, I think
Because if she's gonna thank them and thank Beyonce
thank them,
before,
and now you changing your mind.
right? If this is the first time that I would have heard from her, it would be one thing. But being that this is not the first time,
yeah,
it's another. So
we might be reaching some or trying to become more relevant now with something because she's been gone for a while.
right, exactly. Well, you know something, I'll move on to the next story because we're gonna try to just keep it rocking and jump on into the forum.
Yes, ma'am.
This one here, This kind of tripped me out just a little bit. Ronda Rousey is suspended indefinitely from WWE after attacking an official at SummerSlam. The WWE, Ronda Rousey. The WWE announced that Ronda Rousey's suspension for attacking WWE official in the aftermath of the SummerSlam match against Liv Morgan on Saturday. WWE has suspended the wrestler indefinitely after she attacked the official. Okay, at the SummerSlam event in Nashville on Saturday, Rousey, age 35, lost the women's title match to Liv Morgan, okay, and appeared to take the issue with referee Dan Engler's apparent failure to notice Morgan, age 28, tapping out in the immediate aftermath of the match. Rousey grabbed the referee by the arm and flipped him over her shoulder and onto the ring's floor, where she pinned him down until another official arrived in the ring to break up the tussle. Oh, damn, Ronda.
She wanted to.
Yeah, she won't play it. Rousey's going to be fined and perhaps worse. That's what the WWE broadcaster speculated at the time. Everything was going down at the Nissan Stadium. I just say she ain't nothing to be played with. She said,
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Let me tell you how it's gonna play out. Let me tell you how it's gonna play out. She gonna mess around and go to Triple H. She gonna end up sleeping with Triple H, and she gonna get her job back. Y'all watch to see what I tell y'all. Just keep watching. I'm telling you,
I can't see them losing Ronda.
That's what I'm telling you what they're gonna do. She's gonna go to Triple H. Triple H and his wife is the owner now because my man left. He retired. So they're gonna she's gonna end up going to Triple H, or she's gonna end up going to what's her name? My man's daughter. She's gonna either go to one of them. She's gonna speak with one of them to get her ass back in the wrestling game. I'm telling you now. What? And mark my words.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That's how it always end up.
Right. I don't think that she's one that they can. Well, they can always take her out, but she's got a lot of, acclaim to this whole thing, and indefinitely suspending her indefinitely. I don't think
coming back. That's why she's gonna sleep with one of them.
Right.
And definitely that's not gonna mean nothing to her because they're gonna bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
Now you talking about an actual wrestling? Talking about what?
Yeah, wrestling. They're talking about wrestling. The Triple H. She's gonna sleep with Triple H, and she's gonna come back. I'm telling you now.
Well, they had a thing a while back in the news talking about Kevin Gates, and like somebody supposedly insulted him, and one of the guys got a wrestler to come over there, and supposedly Kevin Gates stole him or hit him and knocked the dude out. And I'm just like, this is all a part of an act just to get him to kind of, I don't know. But I'm like, don't tell me Kevin Gates is going to try to wrestle. I'm like, because that'd be strange look. But of course, he likes wrestling, WWE, and all that stuff. So
I used to watch it faithfully every Thursday night.
I'm like, they'll be
got out of it.
Yeah, because one of the main guys that does, I don't know, I guess it's like in the management department supposedly for the wrestling, was like, your music sucks, and then another guy came over and was like, back up, like that was his bodyguard or something. But
wow. Well,
my favorite character,
all that plays out, but I
was The Undertaker. He was my favorite. He was my favorite character out of the whole wrestling.
Undertaker.
The Undertaker. That was my boy. He nasty. Nasty. I used to watch it. I used to watch it. Thursday night was it.
I watched some of it. then I started fading out, but then I went back in when I started watching Total Divas. And so then I got again kind of accustomed to looking at some of it. Well, here's what Ronda said. She said, hey, hashtag, well, not hashtag, hey at WWE, if you guys could stop screwing me to put over your Golden Girls at every major PPV, that'd be great. And then she said, in the response to the decision that Rousey took issue with, she also retweeted a Twitter post from WWE television host Greg Miller in the immediate aftermath of the SummerSlam, in which Miller accused Morgan of having won the championship by taking advantage of the situation and retained it by being a cheating coward. So apparently she got backup, from other people who, saw this. And so I don't know how long they're going to keep her out, but I don't think that they're going to be able to afford to keep her out too long. That's just my opinion. So let's stand by and see what happens with Miss Rousey. She ain't playing with them.
She's gonna be in there somewhere.
Okay, now this is I got two more stories. This one here is a little bit on the cray side. I'm just really tripping off this. Okay. Let me pull up the full article before I just comment. A passenger was fined $1,874 after an airport security dog sniffed out 2 McMuffins in his luggage.
Huh?
Yes. An airport passenger arrived at Australian airport with undeclared food, and the officials weren't loving it. The detector dog sniffed out the breach of biosecurity last week after a passenger traveling from Indonesia snuck a McDonald's meal on a flight to Darwin International Airport in Australia. The airport's new biosecurity detector dog Zinta discovered the 2 egg and beef sausage Big Muffins and a ham croissant in the passenger's backpack. The passenger was slapped with a 12-unit infringement amounting to $2,664 or $1,800.
No!
I know. It's $1,874 in American dollars.
For a fucking meal myself for a damn biscuit. Oh my God, no!
That is two expensive McMuffins and that ham and cheese croissant.
Yeah.
The first person that come out their mouth and say anything to me about a biscuit or croissant, I will slap the taste out of their mouth.
He can
I know, right?
There's a part of a franchise with that. Like it didn't.
Yes.
No.
I'm just tripping. And they said, listen to this. They said, this will be the most expensive Macca's meal this passenger ever has. This fine is twice the cost of an airfare bill to Bali, but I have no sympathy for people who choose to disobey Australia's strict biosecurity measures, and recent detections show that you will be caught. That's for Murray Watt, Australia's Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry. Man, y'all crazy over there.
Let me tell y'all something.
Australia having some crazy problems anyway.
I might be in jail right now if they would have searched my bags when I came back from not Jamaica, the other place. On one of my trips, I went, and if they would have checked my bags, I'd probably been in jail right now, y'all, because I snuck 2 Cuban cigars over here. God knows. Oh my God, y'all would have been talking to me through the bars So they are very strict about that stuff. But McDonald's?
Yeah. That's hella
McDonald's
crazy. Hella crazy.
I can see the cigars, or I can see the liquor and stuff that you buy from over there and bring back, or some jewelry or something. But the man was hungry. He might have had to take the food, eat that food to take his medicine.
Oh, that's absolutely ludicrous to me. And I honestly, Veronica, you would be the new Brittney Griner with your stuff.
You that right? I've been locked up. I've been crying, call y'all, come get me. Come get me.
But I can't even believe that. And they showed the picture, and they looked all roughed up. The McMuffins, they looked all roughed up like hell. And you're gonna charge a person for that?
I wouldn't eat not another one.
Ever. Ever. I just didn't see that coming, but it just seems like wherever you are in this world, you got some crazy, out of control stuff that's going on. I mean, absolutely crazy and out of control right this moment. But who the hell is trying to find you over a dried up bun, a dried ass egg?
Just should have made them throw it away. Gave them a fine, but not that hefty of a fine. That's just
exactly.
I think they were just bored and had nothing to do, and just like, well, we push it to the 10th degree and going and try to get, unless that's how much money they needed for something else to be done at that airport.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think.
Right.
I'm like, really, for a sausage McMuffin? I mean, like, look, I got more than $200. I just give you that because that's just silly.
That's silly as hell.
260,000 and something for.
I can't because that's just preposterous.
Because the dog sniffed it out. I'm like, the dog. Okay, the dog sniffed it out, but the dog don't know numbers. They don't know no money. Value of money, like.
That's just crazy. There is absolutely no way to rationalize any of that.
Well,
absolutely.
He's the person that's going to be posted with this incident, and everybody else is going to know from then forth not to try to smuggle no sausage McMuffins and the ham and cheese croissant.
Right.
You better starve and wait till you get over here and buy something from out of the airport to eat.
But the worst thing about it was from Mickey D's, and it wasn't from like some really nice joint, We just took some stuff from the human DNA eating place. That's why I don't mess with McDonald's like that. Because the human DNA that they have found in their meats. So
really,
that's what we're doing now. So that's just crazy as hell to me. Well, you know what, y'all? I'm gonna do one more story. See if I can pull this last one up here. Okay. How many people familiar with Kevin Spacey and House of Cards? Y'all remember that show and the actor?
I remember the show, but I never watched it.
I remember Kevin Spacey. I'm not caught up on the show really, but I remember Kevin Spacey.
I remember him, but I don't follow him like that. So
okay, well, I remember him. What was it American Pie, whatever it was, the movie that was just so strongly sexual. But I remember all that. I didn't watch him in House of Cards, but they're saying Kevin Spacey must pay $30 million to House of Cards makers. Now, a judge on Thursday ruled that Kevin Spacey and his production companies must pay the makers of House of Cards nearly $31 million because of losses brought on by his 2017 firing for sexual harassment of crew members. The ruling from Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mel Recana says the force of the law gives the force of the law to the $30.9 award in favor to MRC and other companies that produced the Netflix series by a private arbitrator who heard the case against Spacey. Recana wrote that Spacey and his attorneys failed to demonstrate that this is even a close case and do not demonstrate that the damages award was so utterly irrational that it amounts to an obituary remaking of the parties' contracts. Well, let me just get to the meat and potatoes. Sometimes hearing about what these people feel as the attorneys and the judges, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to us out here. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Spacey has denied allegations through his attorneys and spokesperson who did not immediately respond. And so they found that Spacey had violated his contract's demands for professional behavior by engaging certain conduct in connection with several crew members in each of his 5 seasons that he starred in, and he was executive producing on the show. Let's just cut to the chase, because really we know that when people are stars of these shows and the executive producer, some of them feel like they can touch crew members and other co-stars inappropriately in any way that they want to. And while they're dancing around in this article, that's what happened. This article is just irritating me, really. But at the bottom line, that's pretty much what happened. And so now they're saying last month, Spacey pleaded not guilty in London to charges of sexually assaulting 3 men a decade or more ago when he was director of Old Vic Theater there. So, this guy is a serial offender like this, This is what he did. He just came from that era. I talk about it all the time. Those actors who get all these recurring films and TV shows, they can get them because they have committed themselves into being a part of those crowds where they misuse and they treat people badly. And that's pretty much what they did, and they gotten away from it with it so long, So, and that's what they're having to deal with right now is this guy. Kevin's having to pay money back for, when they had to stop that whole production, all these people had to lose their jobs at the same time. So it wasn't just stopping a production. He caused the loss of income for a bunch of people. So he really should be paying some money. So what do y'all think?
Margo, you take that one.
I think that that's valid. That's valid in the sense that like you said, to stop production, sexually harassing so many people, and they need to be held accountable, and just pull out everybody that's doing it, that's misusing or abusing staff that's on the set, because that he's not the first one. Who was that you were telling us that Holly Berry had even cussed out or called out, or when they had an intervention for whoever that was? I can't even remember, but I was remembering. It was a story. You brought that up, and they told him he needed to stop because he was drinking and just doing and acting outrageous on the set. So for all of these stars, whether in front of the camera or behind the camera, they all need to conduct themselves better. If this is your business, this is your livelihood, and this is how you make money, it still don't mean you need to walk around like you control everybody.
Right.
You don't.
It's not a free fall that you get to violate me like you own me.
Yeah.
Just because I am on your set, you don't get to. And he seems to be like it. Those were guys that he on another series that he
sexually harassed.
Right? Yeah. So he's probably he might be doing both. I don't know. But he's doing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like way too much.
Right.
But it just is sad for people to just think that you can have that type of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, like, in the minds of those that go ahead and go along with it because you're just trying to keep your job. Like, I can understand it, but like, no,
Right.
that's affecting your spirit. That's affecting your soul, and nobody owns you. Not like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, you also have to understand the culture, the time frame, and the culture, all together. A lot of reports have been coming out about things that have happened, 5 years, 5 years ago, 10, 20 years ago. So back then, there was a culture of sexism, racism. Racism, of course, racism still exists, but there's a lot of there's a disconnect there between today's generation that's just not going to take anything. We're going to speak up, see something, say something, the YouTube movement, all that. But, back then, a lot of people were afraid to say anything just because they wanted to keep that job. So it gave, a lot of people that had the fame and, the fame gave them that power, and anytime when there's a power imbalance, there's going to be corruption. It doesn't matter what setting you see it in. If there's an imbalance of power between those who have the right to say, those who have the power to hire and fire, whatever, and those who don't, there's going to be an imbalance, and therefore there's going to be corruption. But now, I guess people have just gotten tired of the haves having everything and the have-nots, constantly paying the price for those who want to remain corrupt. So the whole system needs to burn. I mean, there are plenty of systems around that need to burn, and the entertainment system, the entertainment industry is one of those ones that everything has become exposed. It needs to burn down and restart again. Everyone has a right to be comfortable in their work setting. It doesn't matter what type of work setting it is. Everyone has a right to go to work, feel comfortable with what they're doing, and then go home at the end of the day, knowing that they did what they could do to make the world a better place, and then turn back around and they weren't violated in the process. We try to teach our kids, no tolerance for bullying, and then turn back around. They have to deal with that same thing in the workplace, or us adults have to deal with that same thing in the workplace, and it's not right. That's being hypocritical.
That's right. And I do feel like it's a time now, is high time, past time, that people realize that this really exists every day, dealing with the actors and all kinds of things like that. This is a really bad problem, and do something with that. Will somebody read the comments for me real quick? In the chat. I'm sorry.
So, Enemy Clay, good to have you. Thank you for joining. Says Spacey is a part of the Hollywood elite and is a kitty diddler. He is a nonce and needs to be brought to light, and he needs to be reminded that he is a human being just like the rest of us. For the lives he's ruined, he needs to be stripped of everything he has and be forever shunned for entertainment and live out his days in a box.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Live out his days in a box.
I agree. Him about being a diddler, a kitty diddler, and that's the thing. And I thank you for saying that, Clay, because people get so afraid, to call it what it is. And if they do, they make sure that they tell the story, and they only tell it that it's just adults. Nobody want to talk about the kids and all the stuff that the kids endure during this whole process, how they are so badly abused and all. And it's how this is the information that we're waiting to come to the forefront now, because when I first found out about it years ago, I would hear people say, if the real folks on the street knew what these people were doing to kids and even other people, they could not walk down the street. And that's what I'm ready to see, before they even get them in handcuffs, because they're going away. But I would love to see it that they be handed to them by the folks who recognize these people for doing the horrible things that they have done to children. And that's what I'm waiting on. I tell you, I'm really waiting on that, because they should not have to endure any of this. So, but we're going to see this story. I think this story is going to be just one of many in a minute. When the real come out,
yes,
it's just going to be
traveling.
Yeah, and there's so much coming out every day. Did Clay say something else, Margo?
Yeah, Enemy Clay says it's all about public image and keeping their positions of power. As long as they maintain the mirage of power, people will submit to ideas that aren't theirs. People are corrupt, need to be removed. So yeah.
And I think it is coming.
Yeah, he said something else too.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, and also to be imprisoned for the remainder of their lives for all of the wrong that they've done. So.
Well, I'm going to take it a step further, Clay. My understanding is that there's a lot of them who have done it. If they made the right deal and gave some other people up, they might get life imprisonment. But I also hear that a lot of them, they're just going to go ahead and take them down because they are a scarred soul. You can't change that scarred soul. You might as well, like I say sometimes, you might as well go ahead and in that person's life and return their soul to the central sun so they can be reconditioned. You're not going to bring evil out of evil, and that's how we're looking at it now. And I thought it was so harsh. The first time I heard people say that, I thought it was harsh, but now I get it. Because if you don't take them out, they're going to come back and do the same thing to your society over again. Now, that's the part that's really hard for people to hear. But when you learn the level of what they've done to especially the children, they'll take you there. It won't seem harsh at all. You better, where you sign me up? And you might just go out there and want to help yourself. So, but I do know people who would love to help out for the people to find the folks who are really doing this and put them where they really need to be put. So, but that is my opinion. Anybody else have any further opinions before we get ready to get? Clay put something else on there.
Yeah, Clay, you have a lot to say, so thank you. Thank you for adding to the chat.
Thank you.
Enemy Clay says, death is an easy way out for those people. Let them marinate and rot in their own choices to keep them accountable. Death offers a way out. Keeping them in iron shackles on them reminds them daily.
That's a good one. I just think that, right? I think I've taken it from the other side that you can't reform them, but they should suffer for a while first. But you can't reform them. They ain't gonna reform. They damn sure ain't gonna reform because that's their life. They chose it, and they're like, I ain't trying to reform. So
it's like they're gonna be like that forever.
Right. So. But you know what, y'all? We better go on to this. I'm getting ready to post on Instagram. That's why I was just a little bit distracted over here. I was getting this ready because we're late tonight doing the postings and stuff. So I'm making sure that I still get that done. Veronica, I had a deja vu when I looked at you looking at that camera like that because I have former pictures that you were looking like that, and it was just like a deja vu. Suddenly, you look into the camera like that, and then I had to remember where I was. Your mic is off. Hold on, let me turn your mic on. Oh no, your mic is on. My mic is off. I don't hear you. I don't know. I can't. Anybody else here, Veronica?
No, it might be her connection with the.
Okay, cause I just with my tech issues, I be over here thinking is me. So I just making sure that it wasn't. It looks like Clay said one more thing before we get out of here. If you kind of look at that for me, Miss Margie.
It said chat only. The chat only allows 150 characters. I can't put my whole idea on one shot. LOL. No, I understand. No, we definitely get that.
Yeah, but there's some things. I'll be glad when we can really talk more freely on these platforms and say stuff.
And not have to wait that first few minutes before,
right.
A bleep words come out. Like he said. He's like, wait a while before you start cursing.
Yeah, get 20 minutes in before you can say anything. Yeah. But I just really want to be able to, when it comes to everything that's being done out there, and I would love to be able to just really, really talk about it. But if you start to talk about it, you will get snapped off. And so I had to be good about it. But there's a lot of stuff that I am just dying to say. But gotta be good for now.
Yeah.
We'll get down to the nitty gritty in just a moment. Yeah. But I'm getting ready to post here on let me do this real quick before we move on. Okay, that's posting. All right, what we're gonna do is we are gonna leave the tea and we're going to the wait a minute, Clay said one more thing. I can see my phone is blocking half of my chat. So that's why I keep asking you to do it, because I can't see because of my own second line here. Can you read that for me, Margo?
Yeah, it says Enemy Clay, LOL, TBH. Tanya, I would love to join in on your show one day and be a part of the panel.
So we welcome you now.
Welcome new people. Yeah.
Yes, we will actually do that. Let me put it in the right now. I'm not going to wait until the end of the show. Let me go ahead and put the information for if you would like to join us anytime, to just hit me at doing the info@tandiland.com. So what I'm putting up here first is I usually do this at the end of the show, but it's good to do it more than that. So I'm doing it here and I'm putting it on the screen so that if anybody would love to see it and love to join us, hit me at info@tandiland.com. And then we also have a Gmail account. I think it's Tandy Girl AIL. I always have to ask y'all, because I always forget. And so people who like Gmail, you could also do Tandy Girl AIL. Let me take this one down and put up. Let's see, the other one is Tandy Girl AIL. Okay, at gmail.com. That way, we would love for you to join us, Clay, and be a part of what we're doing. And we will have fun tonight, kind of on the low key a little bit, because my throat is like, And so
getting back into the groove of things, just getting back into the groove of things.
Yeah, we're getting back into the groove. So, all right. So I hope you got those down, and feel free to reach out, because I'll definitely love to speak to you about that. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and go to break real quick, because we're coming back with the living room in just a moment. Here we go. welcome back. That was our little mid break. Just took out a little break to get a breather, get something to drink real quick. But now it's time. It's time for the living room, y'all. Now, tonight's subject matter, this was a Michael one. I really had wanted him to explain more about it, but I had to kind of dip in there and find a little bit more information myself so that I could talk about it. Well, the spiritual strategies tonight, are you too caught up to be aware? And my mind goes immediately to the conversation that we just had just now in some levels. Sometimes people are too caught up in social media, propaganda, all kinds of things like that, that they can't hear a message that's being put out there. They can't see the directions of things that are being put out there. And so that's kind of where my mind started going immediately. And then towards the end here, I'm probably going to go into some strategies, where we can kind of talk about it. I'm not going to say it's the end. We might even do it in the middle. Kind of talk about that a little bit. But before I get into that, I just want to kind of see where everybody kind of feels real quickly on this. Are we on the same page together about the spiritual strategies, and are you too caught up to be aware? Those words right there have the most profound message right there. Are you too caught up to be aware?
I think for me, hearing that title, it reminded me of a saying that when my godmothers used to say. She used to say that, I think I don't think it's in the Bible, but it makes a quote, a comparison to something that's in the Bible, saying that some people can become so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good. So basically, everything they say, everything they think has to do with God or the Bible, or like they don't allow themselves to think outside the box of God and religion. So much to the point where their life has become religious, not spiritual. And so everything they do is directed towards, God this, God that, Jesus this, the Bible, like you can't hold a regular conversation with them, without them saying something about God. They say, hey, how you doing? There's, they'll give a scripture, just something,
Right.
And so they don't allow themselves to process what's going on in the world, and everything that's around them, because all they think about is, the religious thing, religion. That's all they think about.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
We lost Bridget. We'll see if she pops back in. Okay, there she is.
And I have seen people like that where they've been in the church and rooted in the church, for so long that they can't think about anything else. You try to get them to think outside the box and outside the narrative that they've grown up in. They basically been programmed and brainwashed. To a point where religion has brainwashed them to only think, a certain way. To the point where, they can see something that's right in front of their face and they can't accept it because they can't see God in it, or they can't they don't have an answer for it. Even to the point where you can ask them about scriptures in the Bible that contradict themselves, and they don't have an answer for you, but they try to still make it all about what they believe. And there are a lot of people like that. I have some people like that in my family, to the point where I can't even talk to them just because they can't see my side of things, and I've become the type of person where I believe in God. I'm very spiritual, but I also have questions, about God, and I've expanded my mindset to not just think about God, but also to think about science and how the world works, the beginning of creation, and all of it, and how I fit into the greater scheme of things. And some of my questions, it can be found in the Bible. And some of the contradictions that I've seen in the Bible can't be explained by people who have been in the church their whole life. Sorry, my baby is screaming on the other side of the door.
Okay.
But yeah, I've tried to get out of that mindset of only trying to be religious and trying to open up my mind to think, outside of the box of religion, and try to understand that God can't be put into a box. He's bigger than a box. And once you start thinking that way, I think you start opening your mind to see what God is really wanting you to see about the world.
Right. And so I'm glad you took it from that perspective, because that's one, because like when we, as we go on here, we're going to say, okay, that's a religious perspective here. And I actually have another perspective that I want to talk about of the worldly in a moment. But let me hear from, Margo or Veronica before I chime in.
Yeah, my thinking about that title was kind of the opposite, in the sense that, are we too bombarded with the physical, what we see in front of us, what's going on with the world, and not realizing that it's deeper than what we just perceive with our own eyes. It's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual fight. It's some stuff that we can't see visually, but we can kind of feel the depth of it, because stuff is heavy, stuff is dark. There's a couple of things that internally, like you feel in your gut, like even when you walk around different people and you feel the energy in the room, and you just know something is off. It's an indication like, okay, I need to leave, or something's about to happen that I don't need to be a part of. So I was looking at it in that sense. And as well as when you say somebody can be this way in front of you, and then like a few seconds later, like they just completely snap, and usually I'm like, why is they snapping on me? Because nothing was done wrong. I didn't approach it wrong, or I'm like, and there's no telling how their day was going or whatever, and they just decided to take it on you. But there's so many more deeper things going on behind the scenes with each individual, as well as the stuff that's happening out there in the world today. And so a lot of the stuff we don't understand, because we're not, and I don't want to say well versed in the Bible, because it definitely is a more spiritual thing than religious, but to gain that understanding of that realm, of being taught by people that are more aware or more connected, I would like to gain that information for myself, because there's something to it. I can't fully explain it, but there's something to it. And it's so much that's happening in the spiritual realm that we're not aware of. How do we start to become more aware of it, and kind of filter through thing in society? So
right. And I agree, with both perspectives, because religion and all that can be very heavy and harsh with the way that some people will talk. And then, Margo, what you're saying kind of relates to the idea that was in my head about worldly folks who feel too much on the world. And it's hard for them to break into their feelings of spirituality, because they're so worried about the things that they can see, touch, and feel.
Right.
And they can't seem to get away from that, what they see, touch, and feel. And that makes them not aware of a lot of things that are happening. They're missing a whole big part of life because they can't seem to disconnect.
Right.
Veronica, did you have anything? I know you're doing something else at the same time, but your thing is still out.
Your mic is still something. It might just be something on your phone.
Yes, you're still muted on your side. No. No. It just suddenly started doing it. Okay, let me unmute you now. And it's not letting me unmute you. Okay, now talk.
Yeah, she could.
No.
That's something.
I wonder if you need to reboot or something.
Oh, for her to go out and come back in. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Right. But yeah, I definitely was looking at it like that, and for the way that Bridget brought it up, I can see it. I can see it some from that point of view as well. It just kind of stumped me because I'm like, okay, which direction? Where are we going with this topic? When I first read it, and I'm like, spiritual, because it was spiritual. I'm just like, spiritual what again? And I was like, so somebody plotting on somebody and praying that they change their ways and come. I don't know. It was just the way I was thinking of it when I first read it. It was kind of wild, but I was like, let's just hear it out and see where it goes.
And I think it can happen both ways. Where we can become so caught up trying to we're so caught up being religious upon we can't see the outside, what's going on in the outside world, and then two, we're so caught up in the outside world that we can't see what's going on behind the physical. We can't see the spiritual.
Some people go out of common sense.
Yeah,
some of it come from common sense.
We hear you now. All right.
Yeah.
Some of it is common sense. Some of it you got to know if you're religious, if you're in a religious state, and okay, it's fine to be religious, it's fine to go by the book, but also be mindful that this is if everybody would go by the book, this world would be a different place to live, and it wouldn't be right at all, because it would be like saying everybody in the world is skinny, or everybody in the world is fat, or everybody in the world is this way. Everybody was just the same. It's not going to work like that. So you got to understand that people that they got their religious, but they need to be mindful of others that they're not religious.
Right.
And
what I say is, I relate it to a lot of things that I say to you all, and just so I say to people in the world, they think that I got two heads and my hair's on fire. When I think of caught up, I think of media, propaganda, and programming. People are so caught up in that, and how they got to do all this social media, how they got to do all this, all that, that they can't see. They're not aware of the things that are happening right in the world. And I tell folks all the time, these different things, and I think I'm crazy. They think I'm crazy. I'm gonna give you an example. We mentioned it on the show when Zach was on here that night. We talked about the Georgia Guidestones. Now, here's the thing that trips me out so badly, that I can't even fathom it. The Georgia Guidestones were destroyed. So here's the thing that people missed out on. They never went to look it up and figure out what it was. One of the most evil, destructive, demonstrative things in the world. It is one of the 34 Ephesus in the world that will be destroyed. Now that one's already got its ass destroyed, got destroyed. But why do some people still not know what that was? They had it written right out there. Their desire, their rule was to kill off 500 billion. No, it was more than that. No, they wanted to leave 500 million people, and they wanted to kill off the rest of the people in the world. It was laying out there on those concrete slabs for years. And when they were even destroyed, some people never even found out what it was. Who cares if there was a card speeding off from there? It destroyed the mess that was this haunting that we had for many years. It was right out there in the open. One of the most evil places ever in life, but people being so caught up in propaganda and all the other stuff.
That's why I said be careful who pray over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And people just missed it. They missed the whole thing. Sorry, this one of these medications gives me a dry mouth. It's like your mouth is so dry you that try to move your tongue. So that's my mind goes to that place too. That's why it's hard to explain some things and say some things to people, because if they're so caught up in the propaganda that's being served to them hot off the news, they can't hear a person like me. And like Zach tells me all the time, he says, it's not your message, it's the messenger. It's the fact that you're the one delivering that message and not someone that they see on the TV. They're not going to listen to you. And so that's why I say sometimes caught up propaganda, news, all that kind of stuff. And can you be aware that there's changes that happen in the world? This country that we live in right now, United States, we don't have that USD no more. That dollar does not exist. All the other countries, 209 countries, for the most part, are going gold back, and they don't want to accept that money no more. You think people know that? They don't think about nothing like that.
They need to know.
Yeah. And so there's so many things like that are just so profound that it's like water going over people's heads, because caught up in so many things that are distracting them away from what's really going on. That's the kind of thing where my mind goes to. So I see Clay is back with us.
Yeah.
And he says,
Enemy Clay said, try just taking a small sip of what's called that thick water and just swish it around in your mouth. It'll stick to the inside of your mouth and keep it not dry.
Okay,
I know that's right.
I've seen that, but that's a weird feeling. That's a weird thing. I seen it when it first came out, the thick water, and it's just like,
really?
It just reminds me of like old dishwater. Like if you think about when it get grimy and slimy,
Oh, I've never heard of thick water. Where you get that?
Oh, you can find it. I'm sure you can find it somewhere still, but it's you probably through Amazon or Sam's Club or somebody still got it somewhere.
I might be scared of that.
Yeah, thick water. It's water, but it don't flow as like normal water. Like no,
yeah. Oh man, I'll have to look that up. I will look that up. Because I feel it so much. It's just dry. I'm like, please, I don't like that feeling. Mm-hmm. I keep water beside my bed and everything to try. I don't like that feeling. But you know what I was going to do too? We can continue to kind of discuss this. I found this article, and it talks about 7 spiritual strategies for a time of pandemic. But I just thought the actual strategies in general were interesting. So I just decided to just bring it to the table, and then we can continue to converse on the other things as well. But the number 1 strategy is said, pray. So God is listening. I firmly believe that God is with us. Yep, as close as we are to ourselves, and even closer. When I pray, I wait for God to reply, not always knowing how God will reply, but trusting that He will. When I pray for others, such as my mother who lives in another state, I know that they are with me in the time of prayer as much as if they were in the same room. In God's presence, we're all united. That's the first one right there. How do y'all feel about that? Well, I know Veronica said all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firm believer.
So for me, my own personal relationship with God, that prayer works. And a lot of time I'm often called to be like, pray, don't forget to pray for such and such and all that other stuff. So I get that a lot. So
Well, that's right. You're the prayer warrior.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, y'all can pray too. Don't forget, he listens to y'all too. But I don't know if y'all think that, because she's just, it's so pure. I ain't so pure. But God knows I'm sincere. So, like,
Right.
maybe that's what it is. But I'm like, I mess up too, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
we all do. We're human.
yeah, but I'm
We
like,
all mess up. We all
prayer
do.
is like my go-to for sure first, before I occupy myself with some things. But it's like, okay, very well, let's go to him first. Don't even try to ask nobody else about the questions or thought about stuff. Just go directly to the go ahead and pray, and then see how God step in and do stuff. You still have to do your part.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the opposite. I think for me, I'm the opposite. If it's a situation that I feel like I can handle, everyday situations or whatever, I feel like I'll go out even with without praying. I'll just try to take care of those situations or those issues, just because I know that we have the power within us to speak to the mountain and make it move. So I feel like if we already have that power within us, going to God about every single little small thing, I feel like it's not redundant. Of course, we should ask God for different things, but I think He already knows, what we're capable of, and He already gave us the power to do certain things. So for me, I feel like I'm annoying God if I go and ask Him, okay, God, what color should I wear? Should I wear black or should I wear white today? Those small stuff. So I'll make decisions that I feel like I can handle. When it comes down to those things that I'm like, what, I can't do this on my own or within my own strength, that's when I start talking to God. Because I know for me, even as a child, if I thought something, I would get it. Like, no problem. Within a couple of days, a couple of hours, it would happen. So I know when I finally do decide to go to God about anything, He's going to make it happen. It may take a while, but it's going to happen. So I feel like I reserve those prayers for things that I really need that I can't get on my own. But for the most part, if I can do it, I feel like if I can do it on my own strength, I'm going to take care of it. But outside of that, I'm praying, and I don't do some long drawn out prayers. I just talk to God like I'm talking to y'all, like driving down the street or and I talk to God mainly in songs.
That's the best talk right there when you're driving down the street or you by yourself.
I talk to God in song all the time.
All right.
Tell him, and it'll work out for you.
Yep.
When I adjusted my camera thing over here so that I could see the chat, and I see that Enemy Clay said it's different about the thick water. It says different for sure. Don't drink it; it'll make you gag. No problem there. I just don't want to see what it is. And then I see Shamika's here. She says, "Hey, y'all, beautiful people."
Hey, Shamika.
Hey, Mika.
And you know what?
Oh.
I put the post out just now, but I forgot to put it out with y'all's pictures. So let's do the picture real quick, because I actually was on a different page. I tell you, not doing the show last week and being a little loopy still from all the stuff going on. I missed some things. Ronk, you got to come back in the picture so I could take the picture. Where'd she go? About time we get ready to go. Here she is. She decided she ain't gonna be in the picture. But let's wait for a second. And she probably got a phone call. Well, we'll wait a few moments till she gets back, because those two blank circles ain't gonna be cute. This. So I'll wait until she gets back. And so I'll go back, and when you're on Instagram, can you replace pictures? Or add to the picture on the post?
I know Facebook you can edit, and
you can do
stuff.
Facebook.
I'm not sure about Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not either. I was going to try that one first, but if not, I'll do it in a second post. It won't hurt to do a second post. So, what's Shamika saying now? I took off my glasses.
Oh, she was just throwing something at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, you know what? Yeah, Veronica must be on a phone call or something, and we'll just go on and move forward. We'll double back and get the picture so I can add the pictures in here. That's why I hate being loopy. Hate being a little bit loopy to forget stuff, basic things. So let's move on to the next report, the next of the, and to me, this is how I'm taking it. This particular article is from ignatianspirituality.com. And what I'm taking it is like these things are just people's suggestions of how to connect and still be aware at times. Now they said pandemic, but I think I just look at it as any time. Okay. Number 2, stay connected. I was recently in a self-quarantine for 14 days after my husband fell ill with the flu-like symptoms after we returned from Europe. We're all healthy now. I found that staying connected through video programs like Zoom, Skype, and Google Meet, or texting and phone calls were great ways to stay in a relationship with others beyond quarantine.
Yeah.
Something happened there. Okay, so human beings are social and need connection. And I agree, we are social individuals that we do need a connection with one another. Really, really makes a difference when you're not communicating with anyone. Mm-hmm. And how to play with your mind and everything. Yeah. It can play with your mind. It even can make me angry. You can start thinking of other stuff and it's not even true, but you dreamed it up yourself and you started to live in it yourself, and it's just you doing all that. Okay, Veronica, before you run away again, let's get our picture. Let's see, is it ready? I had to time it according to this thing is a little far behind, so if y'all had to smile for a few moments, just bear with me, okay? Let's see, I'll just start taking a few. Different phone, keep going. That one did it. Okay, I'll do one more. That was a decent one. And do it again. No. The good thing about having the delay, I get to look at the camera and see the picture.
Oh, I saw that Bernard Savage just joined. He said, "Where's the fellas?" Well, Bernard, I think the fellas fell asleep this day. I don't know. The fellas
stay. From StreamYard. I see Bernard there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Hey, Bernard. The fellas bailed on us tonight.
Well, one tried to join, but he was having technical difficulties.
Let's see.
That's the only one.
Okay, let me pull up StreamYard, and then I'll be right back with y'all.
He the fella. All right, Enemy Clay, thank you. Thank you for saying that, Bernard. So, yeah, he in the chat. Enemy Clay is the fella.
I forgot I had to put the earpiece in when I'm not on this other.
And then there's Zach. Zach is somewhere in the comments.
Oh, I'm on
it. Zach is still around.
Was that there?
No, when Bernard was still.
Yeah, he probably in it.
Say Zach is there.
Where is this?
It's y'all three for this evening on the chat. So chat it up. Tell us what y'all think.
Huh?
Nah, I just said chat it up, fellas. Tell us what y'all think. What's on y'all mind?
I can't hear.
What's our topic?
Okay. Cool. I'm coming. I just came back in over here now. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that. When I was trying to do some things, I kind of knocked myself off. By mistake. Okay. Well, I'm working on adding those pictures in a few minutes. Okay. And I want to put this camera on Theo because I don't like side shots of my big head. My head is too large to get a shot from the side. I don't like that.
You is too much. It's like it's always got to be the perfect shot.
But I tell you, that's what a friend of mine said one time. I tell y'all from an accident, but I won't talk about it now, but we mentioned that in the past. Okay, what's going on in the chat real quick before I move forward?
Shamika says, them fellas shaking my head. Then Shamika also says, Shamika Nicole, this is a man's world, but it would be nothing without a woman or a girl. And then Clay said the topics I want to talk about are way too spicy for YouTube. So I guess he'll hit you with some of those topics later.
Okay.
Shamika Nicole says, who run the world, girls? Women in this case, just being silly. Oh, and Enemy Clay, you just threw one in there. But I'm actually going through a particular situation that I would love to talk about when or if I join the panel. It would be a good talking point. So, okay.
Oh, I love that.
Hold on. Ideas, Clay. Oh, issue a personal relationship.
Okay. That would be good, Clay, because you know what happens is after we do so many shows and we've been going for a year and you pull all these topics and you're like, oh my God, what do you want to talk about, guys? It gets it is good to have a fresh perspective. So we welcome that, because we struggle sometimes. We're like, well, what y'all want to talk about? So it would be good. Veronica, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah,
they pulled a picture up of who did the killing.
Really?
And it's the unbelievable picture. So.
Oh.
So you're saying you know who shot our cousin?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Woo.
That's a hard one there.
And all I can tell you is anybody that's doing anything around here illegal, they need to stop for a while, because when that dude when he get behind them bars and they get ready to try to do a plea deal, he gonna sing like a canary. Telling you,
he's gonna sing.
He gonna sing because he's just that type of person. He done it before. He done it before. He had people locked up.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, Shamika, thank you for the prayers for our family. I didn't know this particular cousin. Veronica lives in LaGrange, and she's known him. But it's really kind of crazy because we just buried a cousin last weekend, and so it's
last weekend. His first cousin on his mama's side was just buried 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little bit younger than he was.
Right. Okay. 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 I'm sorry, y'all. Back to the chat. What is Enemy Clay saying, Margo?
Enemy Clay says not to press on the hot button topics in the current world, but has the overturning of Roe versus Wade impacted your life personally or within any of your friends and family's lives?
Okay, I could relate that into tonight's about being aware.
Yeah.
I could. Y'all want to go there?
Go ahead.
Okay. My feeling is that people who listen to the propaganda and the surface, there's a lot of anger. They say, how could a man say anything about the lives of these women? They caught up, in that kind of propaganda that's being put out there. I see commercials being put out now, even about my governor. I'm not a fan of my governor, not at all. But they're putting stuff out there saying Well, if he does that, then you can even go to jail for miscarriage and, doing all this scary stuff. And I'm telling you, I do not agree at all. I agree 0% on this whole thing. It's not that I was pro-life or pro-choice. The reason why I disagree is if you see all that narrative, you are caught up. If you don't understand what they were doing with those baby fetuses, you are caught up. You don't, if when you get a chance to see what I've seen, those babies going down that conveyor belt, they take these babies and they're not even dead, most of them. And they sending them out. They're selling them to people for that one drug. It's the number one drug in the world. Can't talk about it. Can't mention the name on this platform. Number one drug in the world. And they taking these babies so that they can do all that. And the people who are caught up, oh, what a shame. If I get raped by my uncle, then that's incest, and I'm going to have that baby. They're caught up. And they want to continue the process that's going years and years. You weren't thinking about that when they were dropping all these Planned Parenthoods in the Black and minority neighborhoods, taking all these babies. They didn't want those babies to be alive. They call up in this whole thing. They didn't say, they never see that babies were big business for these criminals and how they have done this for many years. 8 million children missing per year, 800,000 here in the United States. Oh, y'all think it's a joke put on the side of a milk carton? It happened all the time. And all people say, oh, what a shame, not knowing what was going on with the baby. You're too damn caught up in the propaganda to see that babies were big business. Let me shut up. Let me stop.
So let me ask this. Okay. All that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But all that is going on, and if somebody do get raped by their uncle or somebody that something or whatever, and you go ahead and have the baby, you instead of going to get go and get abortion, and you're gonna have the baby gonna come in here either retarded, you can't take care of the baby. The baby's gonna end up in the system. So what they're gonna do with them babies that's in the system? What they're gonna do with
the same thing that they did with them? They sold them out to different people.
So it's a win-win situation. It's a win-lose situation, right?
Win-win for the powers that be that did it.
So I'm saying they're gonna take the babies and do whatever they want to with the babies after you have them anyway. If you don't want the babies, if you're gonna give them up for adoption or you go on,
they do that anyway. Yeah.
They're gonna do it anyway. So it's whether you abort the baby, or whether you have the baby, it's still. What's the difference? I'm just asking.
You really asking me that? You really asking me what's the difference between a human life?
What I'm saying is, if the baby's not okay, if you're gonna abort the baby, just hear what I'm saying. I'm trying to put this up here. If you're gonna abort the baby, and they take the baby and they do whatever they're gonna, you abort the baby, the baby's gonna do whatever they want to with the baby after you abort it. Okay, it's still just a little baby about this big. You know what I'm saying, or this big. Okay, if they abort the baby and the baby, they got the baby that way. But now, did you go the whole 9 months? They got the baby, big baby,
mm-hmm.
and there's something wrong with the baby, and you you take the baby and give it away, and they're gonna take that baby there, and they're gonna do the same thing they're doing with the little baby.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference? I don't understand what the difference is. Whether you abort the baby, so you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win either way. They're gonna take the baby either way. So
I say the difference is this: no matter
you gotta get what I'm
what
saying.
I'm answering. I'm answering.
Okay.
I still feel it's one of the most inhumane things ever for them to take this child, whether it was aborted or brought to full term, and use it to supply that number one drug in the world. Number one drug in the world.
I don't know. Because It seems like they're gonna do it either way. It's gonna be either way. They're gonna get the drug, whether you abort the baby or not.
No, because when you shut down the whole system, they can't do it. Why do you think they're randomly trying to snatch kids from everywhere? Because they can't get it through the system. Once they start shutting down departments, the human services, all those they catching them. See, it's a system that goes from the bottom up. It's the social worker and the healthcare worker. It's the people who over the department. It's the police department and the judges. It was a whole system. So when they're going to arrest these people, they got to go up through the whole stream and get all of the ones that were in the entire ring.
That's just like I get pregnant. I'm doing drugs. I'm doing crack or meth or whatever. I carry this baby to term, and the baby, and I can't. I'm not gonna be able to take care of the baby because I'm already strung out. So the baby's gonna go into the system or somewhere. They're gonna take that baby that's in the system and do the same thing they're gonna do if you abort the baby.
They'll do that under the old rule if they can get away with it. But now, since there is a lockdown, there's not only the lockdown because of Roe versus Wade being overturned, there's a lockdown because President Trump has been the only president known to this entire country that went after traffickers and people overdoing stuff with babies. So it became a part of a process where they had to go and get these people. This is an operation. Too late. But this is where people caught up. And that's why I like what we're going to read some more things up here. I see Bernard said most people are too lazy to be aware. I agree, Bernard. But Margo, can you back up on the chat for me? I'm having some tech issues over here too.
I think Shamika at one point said, "Oh wow, send incredible prayer." Bernard Savage was saying too lazy to be aware when we was commenting on the Roe versus Wade. Shamika just said a reference about her grandmother living in LaGrange and fought and stuff like that when you were talking about Veronica and the stuff that was transpiring today.
She's from look. She got some people in LaGrange, North Carolina.
I'm not sure if it's in North Carolina, but I'm sure she'll put that back in the text or something. But let me say this: based on what I can find off of a quick search, they're legal if the heartbeat isn't detected. If you catch it early enough in the pregnancy, and it's needed as a medical treatment to save the mother's life to prevent the mother from dying as well. So I guess that's in reference to the fetuses, the aborted fetuses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm doing another post for it so we can do out there, but I have to figure this out because I went back and tried to do it again and let's see if it works. But
I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. I'm just trying to figure out, there's kids out here that don't have no parents because their parents aborted them. I mean, they gave them up for adoption because they can't afford keep them or whatever. Yeah. And I feel like that. I mean, adoption and abortion is one you just live in, another one you ain't. But
yeah, a lot of these kids that probably would have been aborted, but that end up in the system. The system is already overrun. Like, I know here. So
what are they gonna do? Kill them? I mean, what else are they gonna do to them?
Yeah, I know here in Texas there's no rooms for kids. Like, my mom is a CPS worker, and like their kids are staying in hotels. Like, they have to rent houses for them and have people like aides to come and sit with them or whatever. There's no room for kids, and people really aren't fostering kids like they used to anymore. Of course, they get money for them, but that's even slowing down. So our kids are really just, working their way out of the system, living in hotel rooms.
And the reason why they're not adopting kids like that no more, because those kids got mental issues. Some of them have mental issues, and they can't. Parents can't. They don't want to bring them kids with mental issues into their home. Because
it'd be a lot.
Yeah, it'd be a lot going on because they killing each other, and they get in there, and then their parents tell them they can't do something, and then next thing you know, the parents is dead. Where they at? They're going to prison.
Yeah. So,
but it still doesn't mean that we can't still face the solution and come up with a new solution, because we face the problem, come up with a new solution. That's what I'm saying, because it wasn't working before.
If you're gonna burn one program, you have to replace it with something better.
Yes.
And that's the whole problem with what they're doing now. It's not that people are against abortions. I think you have to do it in a common sense manner that's going to allow for there to be abortions in special cases, and they're basically cutting abortions across the board for all situations. I remember hearing on the news a couple of weeks ago about a woman. She had already lost the baby, and so she had to go get a D&C, but she couldn't get a D&C in her state because the abortion laws had already passed. The Roe versus Wade had been overturned, and she couldn't get a doctor to do it. So basically, the mother was risking losing her life because she couldn't get this procedure, and that's what we're gonna start facing now. And what's gonna end up happening is, if any mother starts to die because they can't have a D&C because they have actually lost their baby to miscarriage, the state is gonna start getting sued.
Yeah,
and they're gonna win. The families are going to win because you just robbed this family of a life. That
already here, right?
Bringing in income, that was sustaining a family. You have to think of it all speaks to money. If a person is bringing in money, bringing in income, and sustaining a family, now you have loss of life and you have loss of income. It's just like an accident. If a person has a car accident, now they have faced loss of income because they're hurt, they're injured. So whoever caused the accident, now they have to be sued because they have caused a person to be injured. So the state forces abortion, forces women to not get these abortions, and they actually need them. They need the D&C to clean their bodies out. Families are going to start going after the courts, going after the state for that loss of life if that mother dies, and they have a right to.
I believe this, Bridget. I believe that in any situation, this is new coming back into the whole system now. They have to make allowances for different incidents.
Right.
But overall, I do believe that shutting down and reversing Roe versus Wade was the best thing to do if you're going to stop the trafficking and the selling of children worldwide and stop the production of the number one drug in the world. And they had to bring down the. I'm gonna say these things, and some of y'all ain't gonna get what I'm saying, because you have to get the information.
Yeah.
These people eat human DNA. They don't just eat babies. If you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, they can actually. We could tell you the stories of how you can be yourself become a meal of theirs. These people are sick. They eat human flesh. So if you want to shut down all of that, you have to change the way that these things are being done. And this was production in place for years. And so I'm really happy to see that they are changing the way that this production was in place for many years. And it's not going to be easy or convenient or comfortable to a lot of people, but it was very much needed in order to stop what was happening for so many years. It's not an easy one, but I want to check on the chat also. I see we got a lot of chat going on. and I'm over here trying to do the social media at the same time. So, can Margo, you mind doing the chat?
Enemy Clay said another topic that he'd like to potentially talk about is the Tuskegee experiment from 1932 to 1972. If you aren't familiar with it, look it up. No, I think you're pretty familiar with it. So that's another thing. Eventually, take a look at and discuss. And he's also just entered another one is the St. Louis experiment of the 50s and the 60s. Government did a bunch of messed up things.
Yep. So I think there's those are interesting topics, and I'd love to do that. But I know this one that we're talking about here, I think this comes down to it. You got to get the information. You don't have the full information. If you're opposing Roe versus Wade using the same argument about incest and rape, you are not looking at the real picture. Get the information, but you got to believe it too. Don't be so caught up that you can't be aware. That's what you got to do. You got to do that. Let me do this, y'all. I am trying to get our little post out here. Let's see if this is gonna work, y'all. No, that's still not working. Okay, I need to change that around. But here, let's go to the next thing. We were on that 7 spiritual strategies. The next one was number 3 was reach out. Not ill or self-quarantine, see what the neighbors need. Basically just reaching out to your neighbor. I don't want to talk too much about this whole thing looking like just a pandemic thing. They basically saying social distancing does not mean end of service, end of talking to one another.
Right.
Let me see how y'all feel about this. This is a very controversial topic to some, not to me, but how do y'all feel about people who, when you see them, they are still wearing double and triple masks and they were gloves and all this kind of stuff? What do y'all feel about that whole situation?
Double mask, I think, I feel like if you got to wear a double mask, then you need to stay home. Because something wrong with you. But, just wearing a mask to protect yourself. I can see that, but double mask in it, I
would tell you, I was in the store the other day, and me and my asthma cough, right? And so I'm behind this woman just in Walmart, just getting my pharmacy to get my medication. And I gave a little cough, not that big ringing cough that I could do. She was like, her peripheral, and she got away from me. Okay.
I would have told her, I would look right at her and tell her bye.
I just was like, okay, because there's an assumption that anytime you cough, it's COVID, not that you got swallowed the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? She just went into full dramatics. And I was like, oh, please, girl. I didn't say nothing to her. I could have said, hey, this is my asthma cough. But I'm like, oh, you're doing way too much, What about people who are the only one in their car and they got on a mask?
Now that
that's silly.
I laugh at that all the time.
I be wondering, like, you just take it off. You in your car. Unless you got somebody that ain't been hanging around you riding in your car with you, and they just,
right,
just pick them up, and you don't know where they been. But I can see that. But I'm like, at this time, like, no, you don't need it in your car.
Right. I just thought it was hilarious. When I see people, I start laughing? Yes. I start laughing when I see folks who are in their car with that doggone mask on. And I'm like, what are you doing over there? So I have to get used to this, not laughing at folks like that, because that's a little bit too much. But it just drives me bananas. They just caught up. It drives me bananas. And
I think it's probably part of social media as well. I mean, I believe everything that is taking place now, we've seen it, in some context, whether it be a sci-fi movie or something. Like it's a movie called Rain. I've watched it, and it's about I guess the scientists, they did some type of experiment or whatever, and the chemicals went into the clouds, and the clouds, when it started to rain, everybody who was outside that got touched by the rain died.
Ooh.
And so, like, basically everyone on Earth died unless you were inside at the time. And so, in order to protect yourself, you had to, have on some type of protective gear or mask or something. So I said to say, we've become so accustomed to seeing things like that, on TV, to the point where when we have to experience, even a touch of it, we start to think about what we've already seen on TV that has programmed us to believe worst case scenarios. So, and close the vent, keep the mask under the car, close the vents, because, it can come into the vents, and, we're going to die in our cars, and, So, people will have those extreme thoughts.
right.
But in today we're dealing with, COVID, various strains of COVID. We're dealing with the monkeypox. I think the polio is coming back around, or, it's like 4 or 5 different major things that are out right now that's killing people. Mm-hmm. So I can't really blame people for wearing double masks now, just because every day I hear about something else, another variant that's popped up of COVID, or the monkeypox, polio, something. So
they're doing that on purpose, right?
Of course.
If I heard back in December, if I heard there was 5 more variants coming out, and I'm not Miss Cleo, there's something going on.
I mean, I know
there is a feedback. We don't know what Clay. We don't know where the feedback is coming from. We just get it sometimes. Yeah. It's just really weird. It's something. A lot of times it sounds like somebody's typing, and I don't know what's going on. Why?
We have people watching us. That's what it is. They watching. They
trying to be destructive.
Trying to make sure we're not doing nothing we have no business, or talking about stuff we shouldn't be mentioning on here.
Right.
No, but that with the mask, yeah, I still wear mine. Mm-hmm. I know my son them sometimes look at me weird, but I'm like, y'all need to be wearing y'all's too. There's still something out here that we're not fully 100%.
There is there are medical people who tell the truth, and some of the medical people have spoken about the cancer that is going to come to those who wear the mask all the time. I don't remember the information about what they're doing to themselves wearing the mask all the time, but that is something that is going to be coming to the forefront soon. We have been told that they're going to tell the truth about why they put this virus out there so we've been saying that forever, nobody wants to listen. Mm-hmm. And even about the shots, but we've been told that is going to happen at a certain point. I don't know if it's, the man playing Biden is going to die, because we know that's not the real Biden. So the one who's playing him is going to die. So I don't know whether it's going to be during that time or when it's going to be. And my understanding, Deep State is freaking out right now because they have to keep the lie alive. But the lie's going to die because the man been playing the role is going to die too. So it's the whole thing. You'll see it coming at some point. It's going to happen. Either there's going to be arrest or death, but it's going to happen. You're not going to see this same status quo of the lies that you all have learned to accept. where you think that these are real killer viruses out there and real killer things that you have to live these lives. It's all a lie. I'm not saying that people don't get anything, but it does not attack everybody like that. People have it so bad in their minds until I hear people say all the time, oh, so-and-so got it. Oh, so-and-so got it. I'm like, oh, gosh, they're so programmed. And that's what I'm saying, too caught up to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
They sound like it's a death sentence. This person got it, and now they're gonna die. It's too caught up to be aware, and you got to wake up, because the information that's gonna come forward is gonna blow your mind, and some people are gonna jump off the side of the house because it's too much.
Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. I need to put the bottle down. But anyway, I don't understand. I mean, you saying that people are saying they get stuff and then they're scared they're gonna die, and there are people dying. I mean, I'm confused.
They're dying more from the vaccine than they are from
there are people that haven't had the vaccine yet and they're dying.
But Veronica, people die of the flu every year. 250,000 is the number.
Okay, well,
and remember,
that had the vaccine?
Let me tell you. But hold on, let me say this. There are people who do this specifically. They do the stats on the medical diseases that happen every year. The lady who does it here that Zach knows, she told him verbatim that the flu has disappeared.
Okay, well, what about the people that had the vaccine that are still living?
Wouldn't say everybody would die. Did I say that?
I'm just asking. I just asked.
But I didn't say that, though.
Because they're saying that a whole lot of people, most of the people that died had the vaccine.
Yeah, there's a lot of them who did, or they have incurable diseases and things right now. Some people legs stop working, all kinds of things. You got to do the research. Stop being so caught up that you can't be aware. You got to do the research. I got a video I could play for you right now. How this girl said,
asking. I mean,
I'm going to give you an example. How this girl was saying.
I'm seeing one side. I'm seeing one side where people going on about their lives that had the vaccine, and it's still going on about their lives each day, and nothing wrong with them. No kind of no issues or nothing with them. But then them people that, I understand that some people that might have had the vaccine and passed away, but then there's a lot of people that did not have the vaccine and passed on.
Thank God. But the thing is, and I want you to keep that stance. I don't want you to keep that energy. I promise you right now, keep that stance, keep that energy, because when they bring this information out and people bad enough to jump off buildings, you need to be the one talking to them. Okay? When they tell you what they really did. When they tell you what they really did.
I'm just talking about
you need to be the one.
It's people that's out there that I know a lot of people that had the vaccine. They had the vaccine and still living their life. There's no problems. They have having no issues. But then there's people that had the vaccine and had issues. And then there's people that didn't even get the shot at all and have issues.
Here's my point. My point is this. Every single person that has taken it and the boosters and everything, when the information comes out, what it was and what is in the body, that's when I need people like you to speak up, keep the same energy, and keep these people calm from going crazy until the time that the medical beds that are coming can heal these people's bodies. So keep that same energy, sis. You're going to need it, for real. Because people ain't going to like it, what they hear. We talk about it all the time. Folks go down crazy.
I'm living with the Bible said live day by day, This after tomorrow's your last day. That's what I'm going by. I'm going by whatever that is.
That's what I'm telling you. Keep that same energy, sis. They're going to need you.
I mean,
And I'm dead
were
ass for
people
real.
dying. They people dying they people that dying without the vaccine.
I know Shamika
You know,
just entered something. She said over there in the chat, she says,
Can
masking
you
cards I did question, but I
can
learned
you
that
back where she was talking about people have the right to protect?
okay. I think it says people have to go outside the house because not everything can be done from home. So staying home isn't a solution. Um and then Shamika says masking cards I did question that, but I learned people forget they had it on or they didn't want to keep touching their face and matte face, so they leave it on. Shamika Nicole said my hospitalization was definitely real and was told that I'd not gotten there when I did. My lung capacity was so full of fluid. Oh, and I was there. It says Margo was there when I had to be rushed to the hospital via ambulance 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
COVID was real for us. Enemy Clay says subservient as they continue to get the booster. We have no idea what the hell this thing will do to us in the long run. No research was done for long-term effects. It's also in use under emergency. And also Enemy Clay says order to have been deployed to pose a solution to keep panic down.
And the thing is, those of you, thank you, Margo. Thank y'all for comments. Those of you who have had this COVID that they speak of, I say to you, I'm glad that you made it through, whatever it is that they put out there, because at this moment, it still remains to be seen exactly some of the stuff that they did. We heard how they did it, and between Fauci and Gates and all that stuff, it was just all a thing. This was a plan for many years. I've spoken to you all before about the group that calls themselves the Good People. They made this decision 20 years back. You hear what I'm saying? 20 years back, if not more than that, to do this. So they did it because they were losing power. Because of people are controlled. All you got to do is go on TV and tell them. And then everybody's like, they're not even thinking about the numbers for flu. They're not thinking about any of the stuff that we grew up with for years and years. Right. Everything just disappeared. How did it all disappear? It just became this one disease, virus. It became this one thing, and everybody followed behind the one thing. They forgot about everything else that has gone on. That, to me, I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. And like Clay said, this experimental drug, people decided to take it. And the reason why you don't have an acceptance from many people that this is happening to the communities is because you used your free will. And you're not going to get a response from people agreeing, a lot of them until they really, really dig in, agreeing that this wasn't a good thing because they used their own free will. Nobody made anybody go do anything. It was all free will. So that's why when everything comes out, I say keep the same energy because people are going to need it. They're going to need that help because we can't do it all, you know what I'm saying? And then some of the things I say might be a little bit too harsh because I could tell you about some of the things in the blood and it's too much for folks right now. I don't want to put some of that out there right now. It's a little too harsh.
Shamika added that the fascinating thing is that we're so concerned about the vaccine, but unsafe sexual practices is at an all-time high that's causing illness and death too.
Yeah, that came along beforehand. Remember we talked about if you lived in cities like my city is fluid. My city, they've been doing a lot, you know, and I think it's like these fluid places, and the young people are very fluid about their attitudes with sex. It's so freebie. So it's been going for a little while, but I think we started paying more attention to it because now people have it that when you meet somebody, one of the questions on the questionnaire is about your status.
Oh, your health status and stuff.
Yeah, so I think some things are brought to the forefront more now because that is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That is an issue now. And I was listening to this guy who was dating, dating site. I like those dating sites. Sometimes go on just to play around, see who's there. But I've been on a long time. But I remember he was laying out everything on that, and he was laying out his stuff out about his vaccines and everything too. And I was like, wow, he is just in there telling everything. And I realized at that moment that was a part of the whole system now. So yeah. I think that the young people just look fluid. We're not just young. I'm in a fluid city. So okay. Um, I was still kind of halfway going back to this article. I guess I'll just read them real quick and get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think? I'll read them real quick and get out.
Yeah, no.
Number 4, be grateful. There's always something for which to be grateful, always. I'm grateful that she's saying I'm grateful for sharing the conversation, shared meals, and everybody's health, and gratitude gives us perspective. I agree with that. Number 5, slow down. I have often wished I had more time for contemplation. Be careful for what you wish for. In all seriousness, however, more time to contemplate and watch the sunrise and look at a beautiful tree in the background, things like that give you a sense of peace. Baking bread rather than buying it, and staying in the moment and nurturing others. Slowing down is a hidden gift. Okay. Number 6, engage in meaningful work. Monks have always known this. They say we need a balance of work, prayer, and leisure in life. She's saying I'm a teacher, so have been putting energy into teaching and her university students through remote platforms, holding office hours, finding creative ways to help the students grow and learn. And even for those who are retired or otherwise not employed, tasks like baking, minor household projects, that have been put off, or organizing photos into albums can be meaningful work. And the last one, number 7, is love. Love is contagious. Love, Saint Ignatius, says, is shown in deeds, not only in words, but it also helps to tell people whom you love that you love them. How do you want to share love today? So there's a pretty good things, just some strategies for when you are facing, issues where I guess still sharing and connecting with people through whatever you're going through. So
Tonight, I told somebody tonight, I said, I'm tired of telling people I love them. And then and then stuff like my cousin getting killed. I mean, because he was just here about a month or so ago and told me he stood right here in my bedroom and just told me that he loved me and he will always love me no matter what.
Right.
And if I ever need him, that all I am is a phone call away. So now he's gone. This same person that stood in my bedroom, like literally in front of me, they told me he loved me. Now he's gone. So I'm still trying to sit here trying to cope and then
I get you.
get it in my head that he's gone. That's that pill. That pill like feel like it's this big. It's hard to swallow.
Right.
So
it's hard to it's hard to say and hard to accept when a person leaves or their contract is up. That's not easy.
It seems like every time I get close to somebody, they die. I mean, I get real close to somebody, they pretty just gone. So, I mean, yeah.
It's hard. It is. And I agree. I feel pretty much the same. But my the depth of my spirituality goes to another place. And it goes to the place where I understand that that's just a vessel that we're in. So it takes me to a place where I don't feel the final feelings that I used to feel before I deepened myself into my spirituality. I used to feel like that was the end, over. And so I just feel a little differently now.
Tanya,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go here, and I mean, you know, I love you and everything, but I have not.
That love me. You just
I
said it
have
just
not
like
really.
that.
I have not really felt like. I mean, I felt like this a while back, and you know how close me and Nita was,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like. I mean, I guess people, y'all out there, everybody out there, you know, y'all have to. I guess y'all have to be in my shoes to understand where I'm coming from. I don't have any biological children.
Mm-hmm.
In the town that we stay in, I help raise a whole lot of these kids that's under me. I help raise a whole lot of them, and
Mm-hmm.
most of them come to me. They either call me Ma Dukes, Mom, or Auntie, or Cuz,
Mm-hmm.
and I get attached to them.
Yeah.
And then when stuff like this happens, it hurts me. I'll go into my little thing for a while, but you know, eventually I'm come out. But every time stuff like this happens, it takes me back to family reunion. And matter of fact, it's like around the same time we had family reunion. Cause this is technically, y'all, this is the Joyner Taylor family reunion weekend, in the first
Mm-hmm.
weekend in August. And with this happening, it takes me back to when I left Tanya's sister. The day that I left Tanya's sister, I already knew something in my spirit. I already knew that I could tell her bye. Everybody was saying, "Why you ain't tell me?" Nope, I don't. Nope, I got on the bus, and I got on that bus, and I sat there and I cried all the way back to North Carolina, y'all. All the way back to North Carolina, because I didn't get a chance to tell my best friend, my sister / cousin, bye.
Yeah. Well, we understand.
And
You
then
take
everybody
that
want to
thing.
know, why is me and Tanya so close? That's the reason why me and Tanya are so close, because of Renita. You know, and
Right. Hey,
y'all
but
bear with me. I'm
let
sorry,
me
y'all. Just
have.
bear with me. You
Oh,
know,
you're fine. I was going to try to help you along with what happened to me, and you may not embrace it now. It may be something to embrace it later. But what got me over the hump and helped me to understand it more was my sister made the decision with her medical team to put me in place to administer her medicines and do all the stuff like that. And she spoke her last words to me, and she took her last breath with me, and I watched her transition. So I think with that, it just took me to a different place. I remember the first thing I said to my mother when my sister laid her head back. My mother came back in the room. I said to my mom, I said, she just left us, but she's free now. because that vessel was hurting her. That sick vessel that she was in was harming her every day.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I was able to walk past it, because I watched somebody that I love not have to be in that anymore.
Exactly. And see,
And
I don't know. It just took me a while because the history that we had, and y'all have to understand this, and trying to tell y'all, Renita was one of them. She was one of them people that bounce off the wall. You know them balls. You hit it, you throw it somewhere, and it takes you 20 minutes to stop bouncing before you can catch it.
Yeah.
She was one of them balls that you throw it, and when you just sit there and watch that ball bounce. And understand, you got to understand when you think, you got to say, okay, where this ball gonna land at? That's just the type of person she was. And at the reunion, I was the one to say, Nita, you need to get somewhere to sit down. Girl, leave me alone. I ain't got time to sit down. I'm gone. I threw my hands up at her. I threw my hands up at her because some said, Veronica, my spirit told me, said, Veronica, let her go. She knows what she's doing. She knows this is her last reunion. She knows this is her last whatever to being around us. That's why I didn't talk to her when I got ready to leave. Because I already knew. And she already knew.
Well, you know what's so
Tanya
funny?
knew.
Well, here was so funny about my sister. I'll say this, and then we'll move on to something. I'm gonna meet some in the chat. We're going to chat and everything. But I remember I had, when I moved from Texas to here in Atlanta, I remember I had some Texan friends that wanted to come in to Atlanta and to hang out, and I said, I wonder if they'll get along with Renita and everything. I wonder how everybody's gonna blend. Girl, we met them, and you know how it was, Veronica. All you heard, it was like you remember Pigpen from Peanuts and that cloud of smoke, that dark beer. Renita was like a cloud of noise, and she'd be like, and I said, look at her. She's fine, and the whole situation was fine. And that's how I saw her, when she was like a cloud.
Everywhere.
You know, she was always that way. And so then she got that from my dad. We never met a stranger. Sometimes I was a little bit more standoff, but I'm glad that picking up those ways of never meeting a stranger, and that's definitely how Renita was. Like my dad never met a stranger.
She also, if she didn't like you, you better know she gonna tell you off gate. She didn't hold back. She was Sally with that Sally the mule, didn't hold back no tongue. She was that person.
Right.
She was silent. She was silent. She didn't hold back her words. She had no filter.
No. She gonna tell you what was happening.
Like you.
That's why I was afraid.
She picked up that vibe that she didn't like you. Oh, she'll talk to you. Yeah. But she'll tell you, look.
That's why I was afraid when they said that the people were coming. I was like, oh Lord, what are they gonna do? But she knew how to handle it, and she did the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? But let me go into the chat here, because Shamika, I wanted to address some things. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, but okay. Shamika says, the fascinating thing is that we're so concerned about the vaccines, but unsafe. We just did that. Did that one about the unsafe sexual practices. Okay, I got that one. Next one, and she says, where can I get this information? I watch the show often, as y'all know, but I get confused and caught off guard because I feel like the show isn't able to provide full information for me to understand. I'm referring to all the information y'all speak on the show that we're supposed to be woke about. And Shamika, the reason why I really wanted to address this is because when you're dealing with the YouTube platform, I am editing so severely everything that I say, because I can get strikes. and put off. I mean, there's some words that I said tonight, I could even get strikes because I said that V word a whole lot. And depends on if they want to, I can get strikes tonight. And the reason why Art Imitates Life was a blog talk radio show, 2014, 2015. I brought it back last year because I said, I want to be able to deliver information to the public. That was the full sole reason for bringing it back. So what we try to do is we just try to push some information out there. I say myself specifically, push some information out there in hopes that people can do a little research. You want to do the research, I would suggest going to DuckDuckGo or going to google.ru for Russia, because they tell the people a little bit more truth over there. So there's ways that you have to kind of finesse the situation, but there's some things that maybe if you have questions and maybe I can push some information out there that can be found and you can read more about it, because that was the whole reason for coming back. And if I don't help people like that, then my purpose for coming back is null. So that's what I'm hoping, that I can, share things that make people think and have people to go and take, a little time and see what's out there and see before, I'm not gonna say before it's too late, but before other things continue to happen. I know y'all. Margo's like, I'd have had a full week.
Yeah, but no, I'm still interested in what's up. Is there anything still on that list?
That I cleared that 7 spiritual strategies.
Yeah,
I went ahead and read the rest of them because we were going out on other bridges. We were going so far on other bridges until I said, let me just clear this off real quick off the page. And, but I know I have all my perspective tonight about how I feel people are caught up. It was a good topic for me. Because y'all know I've been preaching that all the time. But it doesn't help if y'all are not having your ways too, and you have your information. So it's good to come together that we can all talk about how we feel. The caught upness can keep folks from being aware,
Yeah. But I say people just pay attention to all of that. Even to the degree of paying attention to what you end up falling asleep and dreaming about. There's certain dreams that even give you information, and you're not fully knowing it, but it's a different way you got to interpret them, and that's with your own connection to God. Because sometimes in those messages are specifically just for you, and not necessarily always share with somebody else, but your dreams do say things.
Yes.
Now, dreaming about some weird stuff and you went to the mall and bought a monkey and y'all doing go-karts, then that's not the dream that's giving you messages.
I don't want that dream.
Pay attention to that one. That was just a kooky dream. It could have been a laugh you saw on TV or something you ate or thought you had earlier in the day, but there's certain things that give you insight and messages if you're able to pick up on the clues and the hints and stuff like that. So
yeah, I told Veronica recently, when it comes to dreams, I used to have a lot of vivid dreams, but now Renita comes to me in a dream. I guess everyone, she wants to let me know she's okay. And my great nephew came to me finally in a dream, and I really wanted to know if he was okay, and that let me know he was okay. So dreams have always been truths for me too. But you're right, sometimes they could be way out there, and I don't think that's a message in some of those things.
And you wake up like, why was this in my dream? Like, what did that have to, like, God, I don't think you gave me that one. Yeah.
Like, what was this?
Yeah. And them multiple dreams in one, them be, man, like, what?
Yes, when you keep going here and there, and here and there, and here and there, and you're like, oh,
You walk in one room, you're told another segment. You walk in that room, you're told another room.
Yes, those would trip out to me.
The good ones be the just the ones the guy that has no face. That'd be a trip too. I don't know if you ever had those. Like
I haven't had to have no face, but I know what you're talking about.
Like, this is your ideal person, or this is this, and all of this good stuff is happening in the dream. But it's like you still don't know what they look like because they have no like, those used to be back in the day.
Have y'all ever gotten excited because you were in a dream and something like that happened, and you woke up and you were kind of excited, saying that was telling me something?
Yeah.
Who was that person? Oh, they were cute, but who is that? I didn't recognize them,
LOL. I have been in a dream where I have been chased by a dude, and I'm like, who is you? Why are you chasing me? I wake up and like, ooh, I got away from him. But then when I get up, go to the bathroom, come right and go back to sleep, he's right behind me again. Who are you and why are you chasing me?
Oh, see, that would scare me. If they came back to the dream again, okay, that would scare me.
I'm
sorry.
It's kind of scary, But then when I woke up for the dream, he was like, he romanced me. He took me out on dates. We did stuff together, but then that didn't never happen.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes about that because I have had the same where it's not the exact same thing you're talking about, but I have had like somebody who I didn't know, and I was like, "Are they cute? What's the meaning of all this?" And I wondered, would you ever see that person? Because it was a person's face I wasn't even familiar with, and so I had to ask myself at that point, am I not familiar with them in this dimension that I'm in now? What about the other dimension? I might know them from over there. So I don't know. I don't know. Margo, like, dimensions, I'm tired.
Yeah, but no, it's a lot. But the spiritual realm is one you definitely have to take time to study and try to figure out ways to be more in tune with it, to pick up on it. I know for me, sometimes I get multiples of numbers, and or I get reassurance about something, or it's a bunch of different things, but a lot of things come into place and have significant meanings, and so I try to make sure that I'm aware of it and not just pass it off like but certain other things be like definitely take that time to be still and to be able to listen. Being prayerful and then pouring into that connection to God. For me, I know everybody else doesn't follow or believe the same beliefs that I have, but whatever it is, I'm sure to a certain extent, a point, things will be connected to where you're able to pick up on it and understand it.
Right. And I see in the chat, Henry Clay said, to be honest, Shamika, all the information you need is on the internet. Just start looking. Yeah, that is actually true. We all share information from across the world on all of these issues. Some of these people I never met in my life, we share information across the whole world. And that's how we do it, via internet. Gotta break the chains away from the propaganda. Gotta turn off that TV because you're being fed propaganda, and break away from the programming. Everybody will be glad that they did because the new life is coming. 1,000 years of peace. Here we go. So I'm ready for that 1,000 years of peace. It's time. It is time. All right, y'all. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, y'all ready to walk out of this living room? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess Margo's tired. So we said we're going to talk that
Margo is not by herself. Margo is not by herself.
Because I did a lot of talking myself that I didn't intend. I didn't think I was going to be able to talk that long because at times I
You
felt like
did
my
good,
voice was
Tanya.
going
You did real good.
good because I thought my voice was going to leave me at one time. But thank y'all. Hung in there with y'all. All right. So, hi.
No, I said no problem. I apologize if
Thank
I
you.
kept yawning and whatever else on camera.
Long
It's
day. I
kind
understand.
of a busy, long day, but a good day though. So
That's
apologize.
right. Y'all had fun at work. So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
All
want to
right.
apologize again to everybody that me going through in and out of the picture and all everything, and my head is wrapped around what went on today.
I
It's not every
understand.
day that this town go through stuff like this.
Right.
So
That's big. That's big.
yeah, because I mean, like I said, we're this little small town that got
Mm-hmm.
one stoplight
Mm-hmm.
and one, two, maybe three gas stations, one grocery store.
I understand.
And it's everybody that know everybody here. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to me. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
it is, especially when you just see that person or you
Right.
just talk to that person and now they're gone.
Right.
Right.
Very hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, and
So,
he didn't. He had a history,
mm-hmm.
but right lately he's been like more down to earth. You
He's
didn't hear
doing
his
better.
name. You didn't hear his name and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He was quiet. He was real quiet.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's all everybody saying. He was just that. He was a
Mm-hmm.
changed person from his younger days.
Right.
Since he got older, he's been,
Mm-hmm.
right here at the bottom of right level.
Right. Well,
So
we'll pray for his soul and the
pray for the
family.
outlaw and Joyner family.
Yeah. And for the
Yeah.
surviving members. You know.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go to break. We'll come back and end the show.
All right.
I'll see y'all in a second. And this. Hey, welcome back. I had to change the taste of my mouth, so I had a peanut here, but I forgot the dry mouth.
Oh wow.
And,
I need to say one thing.
uh-huh.
I know a while back in the chat, Shamika sent her condolences, and I just want to tell her thank you. I didn't get a chance to tell her back then when she said it.
Right.
So Shamika, thank you for the condolences, baby, and much love to you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was reading. I think I said thank you at that time, but I think I was reading it during that time too. So thank you again, Shamika. I think
I
we
just
got a
didn't
lot
want
of.
her to think I was ignoring her.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you again very much.
I think we
And
lost
everybody else
Bridget.
that said it.
Yeah, I think we lost Bridget. Um,
Yeah.
she may or may not make it back in, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Margo. What you gonna do tomorrow? Let's just start with you tomorrow. You and go is Moji, right?
Moji.
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 Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Emoji.
my weekend is gonna be busy. I'm gonna be trying to celebrate my mom's birthday on Sunday, so I got to make arrangements.
Okay. Well, happy
Cool.
birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Margo. Happy
It's my mom.
birthday to
Her
you.
mom.
So I'll pass it on to my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, her mom. 'Cause remember, she's an October baby.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be turning, I believe, 61 years young. So,
All right, then.
Tell us, go ahead on, girl. Tell us
Trying-
about the girl groove bag.
yeah, she's I look like her, of course. So, and it's so funny because I was just telling somebody earlier. I was like, I can buy her. Like, I know what size clothes she wear because we wear the same size. It's like, yeah. So, no, planning her birthday. Got another birthday of a family member, a young family member's birthday's tomorrow. So, planning to go eat with them as well as this stuff Sunday. My son wants to do school shopping, so I'll be busy with that.
Okay.
And I think it's this tax-free weekend thing too, with getting them ready for school this weekend. So it's going to be crazy trying to get there to go shopping.
Right. Okay.
Just a lot of that, getting things situated with that, as well as returning Monday to work to get my work in my classroom. So it's going to be a busy weekend.
I'm sure.
A fun one, though. A fun
Get back
one.
in the groove. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thanks for being here. I know it's tiring sometimes, but thanks for being here.
Oh, no problem.
Sure. Rob, what you got?
Well, y'all know I have been, I don't know if Margo, y'all probably don't know. Tanya knows I have been want me some butter beans. So this weekend I am cooking me some butter beans with some sausage in it. I want me some butter beans with some sausage and some air fried chicken. I'm gonna use my air fryer to fry me some chicken.
Okay.
That's what I want. I'm something either tomorrow or Sunday. That's what it's gonna be.
All right. Cool.
So,
man,
that'll be my weekend.
Okay. Well, I have an echocardiogram this week. You can take pictures of my heart and follow up with my doctors again, and then just a lot of other things that I have going on, just waiting for those things to come into fruition. It's nice and neat things that are going on that I'm happy about. So I try to focus on those things when I'm up all night, because I've been up for 2 nights now. And so when I'm up, when I'm up all night, it's hard.
Yeah, I know. Yesterday I ate, and after I ate, I was no good, and I passed right out. I was like, I don't even remember what happened. I say, I guess my body just shut down after I ate. It was time to go to bed.
Your body said bye-bye.
But you 2 nights, no sleep? Oh, no.
I twist. I got up and slept in the chair. I was up dressed at 6 o'clock this morning, thinking that if I got dressed, maybe I would wear myself out. That didn't work. I slept from 9 until 9:50. That was it. And then this afternoon,
almost an hour.
Yep, this afternoon I got 5:15 to 6 o'clock. And so I don't know what tonight holds. Again, we'll see what's going down. We'll see how's it going down.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how my night gonna go. Cause I mean, whenever stuff get on my mind, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
I can't sleep. And Tanya, you know that because I had a situation the other night. We're not gonna talk about it. We talk about that after the show, but
right.
Margo, you're gonna flip out when I tell you about it. But anyway,
okay.
When I have stuff on my mind, I don't sleep. So
right.
But I don't know. I did have my aide with me tonight, so I might get to sleep.
All right then. I might need aid.
Yeah, they'll probably afterwards.
All right, we got to get out of here. Let me run this social media real quick. Be right back. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon, so be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. All right, and we're back. Well, ladies, we're going to try to resume this next week, do it all again. And, I really enjoyed tonight. Thank you all for being in the chat. Enemy Clay for being in the chat, and Shamika for being in and just conversing with us on everything. And don't forget, I'm going to put it up again. Let me see if I can just go back and highlight those. Will it come back up for me? See if I can go ahead and highlight those addresses again. Oh wait, I went too far.
Even Bernard and Zach, thank y'all for joining as well in the chat.
Yes.
It jumps on here to talk with us and give us some, input. So thank y'all.
Exactly. And so I'm trying to find it here real quick. Oh, here we go. And if you would like, and then this is for everybody out there, if you would like to join us in the conversation, come here on the show or anything like that, or just have an idea of guests, or you just want to write us and tell us what you think about us, go ahead and hit us at info@tandiland.com. And if you are a Gmail person, you prefer to do the Gmail instead, we have a Gmail account also, which is tandygirl, AIL, @gmail.com. Do not hesitate to reach out. We would love to hear from you. Love to hear from you. And again, Enemy Clay, feel free to hit me anytime you want to come on the show. Of course, we'd love to have a lot more topics and things, or fresh eyes, or the fresh vibe, the whole nine. So do not hesitate. All right. And so we missed the fellas tonight. So maybe next week the guys will join in with us, and we can all chat it up and do the same thing all over again. So I thank you all for tuning in for another edition of Art Imitates Life. Now, as I always say, good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient. But the best things come to those who never give up. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is the AILT right here. Y'all have a beautiful week. And we'll see you next time on Art Imitates Live. Bye, y'all.